heater up top, breaking ball. And I think it helped, especially in a long series, 7-game set. I knew I was going to face those guys a lot.
Well, especially you being a bullpen guy and you didn't have 5 pitches, you had 2 pitches.
I had 2.
You have to like save the way you pitch.
Well, it wasn't even so much of that. I just didn't want him getting a look at it. Okay.
Sure. Who the heck?
What?
Oh. When you go back to Cleveland?
Not till July. Go up there fly up July 4th or July 1st. And then I'll be there I do the games from the 2nd through the 12th. Basically the 2nd through the All-Star break. So I'll do like a 3-game set in Cleveland, 3-game set in Minnesota, 4-game set in Miami, and come home.
What are you doing in Minnesota? You're not doing.
I'm doing in-game. I'm doing in-game broadcasts for my Minnesota and Miami.
So that's like color.
Yeah.
So you work with Tom.
No, I'm doing TV.
Tom's radio.
Tom's radio.
Oh, who's the TV
Matt
guy?
Underwood. His name's Matt Underwood.
Oh, that's a tank.
Did he get him?
Yep. That guy's got some stupid
Some
pop.
thump.
Yeah.
He was with were you with the White Sox with him?
No, I played with him there. He was already
'Cause
gone.
he
He was
was
in
a White-
Miami.
he
He was
was
in
a-
Miami when I was in Chicago.
Because he was a high pick.
He hits the ball
the
so
Burger
hard,
man. Yeah, he's got some boom juice.
What is it? Yeah, it says, "What up, brother? What up?"
Ashton G, what up, brother?
Wouldn't we all like to find that?
Mm-hmm. Duran.
He's been really good this year.
Man, I thought he was going to be like a superstar.
He still might be. The crazy thing, he's still only like
So young.
24 years old.
Man, when it was the COVID season, we had spring training 1.0 and then 2.0, and he was in both of them. And I think he had a little bit of big league time that year. Might have made his debut. But I remember seeing him in spring training. I'm like, bro, he looked like a baby. But, dude, he was just a guy. Like, they were super high on him.
Cody.
Ashton G. I think I might know an Ashton G. Back in Florida. Family friend. Love it. Did you play? Skip, he was with the team, but he wasn't.
He was special assistant when last year when I was there. He was around all the time.
But you never did you cross paths with him anywhere else?
No. I don't think our careers would have overlapped. But that's the cool thing about Google. Let's look up his last year he played.
Yeah, I'm not sure about his last year. Dude,
good ball
there's
player,
a couple really good breaking balls in this game. Like, watch this breaking ball right here.
He's got a really good slider.
Yeah.
Skip Shoemaker. 2005 was 2015 was his last year, so that would have been my first year. He was in Cincinnati.
Okay. So I played against him in Cincinnati. It's probably Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto, that whole crew. Jay Bruce. Is this a Toronto guy?
Yeah, he came up in Toronto. Toronto traded to Boston. Then he signed 1 year. Last year he's in Tampa, and then he just signed a 2-year deal in Texas.
This wasn't the guy that.
No. Not him. He's still playing, though.
Is he?
All right, Ryan. Thanks for enjoying the podcast. How'd you hear of us? What episode did you kind of, the first one you watched? I feel like it's ballsy. I don't think that's something I ever did. I never guessed with 2 strikes.
Oh.
I was on fastball, and then I would adjust. I mean, there were times in early encounters that I would sit on pitches. I had a feeling. I mean, typically, if I was coming up and they went to the bullpen and got a righty, like, the reason they're bringing a righty is probably those sliders.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I would probably sit on sliders early in the at-bat, but
Still gotta be
I'd
ready.
never get froze.
You
like,
gotta
with a
be ready.
fastball down the middle.
You got to be ready for the best bullet. Dude, so I remember watching guys like Dylan Betances. Like, dude, 70% curveballs, right? He was throwing 98, 100, but he threw 60 to 70% curveballs, right? Had a really good one. And you're like, dude, he's throwing 8 straight curveballs. Like, he throws a 99. There's no way this guy hits it. And then he'd throw 1 fastball out of 10 pitches, and a guy would lace one up the middle. And you're like, how is that guy ready for a heater? And hitters are just like, man, there's no way that you can convince yourself to get off the fastball. You got to be ready for their best bullet, and you just try and fight off the good breaking ball.
Yeah, I mean, especially with a guy like Betances who throws so hard, you have to. I hate like going to this extreme, but you almost have to be willing to die in the box, because your reaction time on the fastball is so delayed. If you're sitting breaking ball, it's a scary thing, especially with a guy who doesn't have good command.
Yeah.
You know, like you,
Trying to stay in there.
You had good command. You know, like I knew you weren't necessarily gonna weren't gonna run the fastball up and in and hit me in the head, right?
I might have.
Like I could sit on your curveball sometimes, and it would be a little bit less intimidating to take the fastball because I knew you were generally in the zone. But when a guy's a little bit out of the zone, it's scary.
I'll never forget standing in the on-deck circle in the World Series, Game 5. Aroldis Chapman's on the bump at Wrigley.
And you were about to hit?
I was about to hit. And I was like, dude, I wanted no part of that. That guy is just wild enough.
The thing about him that scares me, besides pretty much everything, but when you think about his delivery and he puts his head down like this.
Oh, yeah.
And I always think, okay, and I always run this through my head, but I'm like, what if the first thing he picks up is my helmet instead of the glove? And he's just like a robot. He's like, I'm throwing to this, right? It would always be in the back of my head.
And then, I mean, sometimes...
he was already scary enough because the velocity, kind of wild and stuff, but then you add in, this head down, I'm like, oh my God.
And the fact that he's an absolute monster. You just look up and you're like, what if he just sees red?
First found the podcast when I watched the video of Kevin talking to Cole Hamels about the brawl between Jose Bautista and Odor. That was a great...
People love that.
Yeah, people love that.
They still love that brawl. What?
I'm an advocate of thinking, and there's going to be people who disagree with this because, yes, we're trying to set example for the next generation and the kids watching, but I think baseball needs to adopt some hockey rules.
To let it go, yeah.
And that's the thing people don't understand about hockey, too, is and I don't know if you're a hockey fan, understand hockey, but like those fights aren't. Those fights are mutually agreed upon.
Yeah.
Like, and I think the same thing can happen in baseball. Like, if you as a hitter feels like the pitcher threw at me on purpose, and you make contact with him out there, and it's like, hey, you want to go, and he says yes, no harm,
Like
no foul. You let him
perfect-
go. You let him go, and then you clean up, and then you know what would be even cooler is you let that guy go back on the mound. Like he's got bloody lip, or like.
It's
you know,
like Joe Kelly and who's the dude in New York?
Tyler
Tyler
Austin.
Austin, yeah. Where he just kind of like, he waved, he said, come on.
yeah, and it's like, okay.
And he ran out there. It's like they clearly both have agreed. There's a mutual agreement here to meeting halfway. This guy, I know he's still really young.
He's got all the tools, man.
Dude, this guy could be MVP. Could be an MVP.
Here we go. As far as the Angels, they need a rebrand. Drop the LA, nothing to do with the team. Go back to California Angels, open their media reach, become the state's baseball team.
Dude.
I couldn't disagree with that more. The second part of it, I do agree with them rebranding and going just being the Anaheim Angels or the Orange County Angels. But
You don't like the California Angels?
no, because I don't think I think there's too many teams in California for them to be the state's team. Like, I know we have the
They
Texas
were the
Rangers.
California. How long were they?
They were the California
How long
Angels
were
for a
they
long
the
time.
California Angels?
Yeah, it's a great
Long
question.
time?
We'll have to look it up. But I think I do agree with the rebranding. I think they should go back to either Anaheim or if you want to reach a bigger audience, they should just be the Orange County Angels.
Yeah.
They clearly did it to try to tap into the LA market, obviously a bigger market than Orange County.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work having two LA teams when one's really not even in LA. But I do like the name of the California Angels. It's a cool name. Cody, who you pulling for?
Right now,
Yeah, Ashton wants to know since you. Well, I played for both teams too.
I'm pulling for the Angels. I'm a Trout fan, man. I want to see that guy in the postseason. I want to see him win. It
Yeah,
would
this
be
is
an
no
absolute.
offense.
It would be an absolute shame to have a player of his caliber.
31 years they were called the California Angels.
There you go.
All right, maybe I stand corrected. Maybe they. No, I take it
But
back.
Oakland's leaving. Oakland's gone.
Yeah,
Oakland's
Sacramento
leaving.
right now, so they're still there. But,
But
there's still
they're
the
leaving.
Padres, the Dodgers.
That's true.
Am I missing someone? San Francisco. So like to be the California team is I think they'd run into the same problem if they were the California Angels and the LA Angels.
Are there any other teams in baseball that are named after the state? Like you got the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, I saw this thing on Instagram the other day. I think it's only the Texas Rangers. They did like all sports teams.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember who.
Texas
no,
Rangers.
no, actually, sorry. There's 5 teams. There's 5. It's the Tampa Bay Rays.
No, Tampa's a city.
Tampa Bay is it though? They counted Tampa Bay.
Okay.
The Washington Nationals.
That's still a city, Washington D.C.
I know, but
I think you
They
got
count
Minnesota
that.
Timberwolves,
well, the Twins.
Minnesota Twins, Minnesota Timberwolves. You've got Golden State Warriors. That's not a city.
God, I just saw this on. I think there's 5 teams in baseball.
But you had the Florida Marlins, you had the California Angels. What was another? You have the Texas Rangers.
Florida Panthers.
Well, I'm just thinking baseball.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking because I just saw this the other day. What were the other teams? Got to go through my
Are the A's? They're going to be the Las Vegas A's, right?
Las Vegas A's.
Yeah.
Youth sports. How can the rules change during the games in AYSA 8U? It's a great topic. I think we get rid of the catch-up rule.
Under advisement.
Yeah, it's under advisement right now. But I definitely think we get rid of the
catch-up rule.
Yeah, I think we get rid of the catch-up rule. Maybe only in the last inning, so you give a team an opportunity to win. But the idea of 8U baseball is not necessarily to win every single game. It's to allow people to play baseball, try different positions out, keep everyone engaged in the game.
Give up 12 runs in a
Yeah,
game.
and when you have people that don't want to maybe take some of your players that aren't as good in the infield or not as comfortable in the infield, and you never give them a chance to play there. We're doing them a disservice by not giving the opportunity to play in the dirt or other positions. But if the only way you can get out of an inning is to get 3 outs, then you have. That's also not fun for kids either.
Yeah.
If they're sitting out there for 12 runs an inning.
Yep. Man, I'm still thinking about the Angels thing. I don't know. They definitely need a rebrand. They definitely need a rebrand.
Well, maybe at some point.
Do you think they would ever leave?
Maybe no. I don't think they need to leave. I think it's too big of a market.
Yeah.
I think they need a new owner.
Yeah.
And I've been pretty adamant on the new owner thing for a long time.
Yeah, Artie's got to go.
I mean, when you come out, and I don't know if you saw this, because I saw this when I was doing, it was a topic of conversation when I was on Foul Territory one time, but I guess Artie had polled the fans, and this was, I don't even know if it was like a public poll. It was a public poll, but I don't think the results were
published? Yeah.
Published. But he basically came out and said that fans said that winning is not a priority. It was about like accessibility and safety and like ticket prices and concession. All those things are important, but ultimately what drives people to a stadium is winning. So that has to be your number one priority.
Only wear the LA unis for home and home with the Dodgers. Move the stadium to the OC near the water. Highlight a stadium that focuses on local culture, i.e. orange groves, beach culture, and the views.
I feel
But New York Mets and Yankees, that's a city. I understand it's a New York state, but New York is a city. I guess you might be able to argue for the Mets because they're in Queens. I mean, the Yankees are in the Bronx, but it's New York City.
Let's just look real quick. You're all right. Let's see.
Is Evan Carter hurt right now?
No, it just the lefties on the mound.
Man, is Wyatt Langford hurt?
The Rockies are one of the teams.
Colorado. Is Wyatt Langford hurt?
Wyatt Langford is hurt right now. Only wear LA unis for home and when they're with the Dodgers. Move the stadium. Wow.
Is this Gibby's first year over there?
Yeah, Gibby's first year.
I hope he gets a chance to manage again.
I do too. I think he might. Yep, Minnesota Twins. We said Minnesota Twins. Colorado Rockies.
Yep. Man, there's been some really surprising. I'm not saying they're not the right people for the jobs, but like, didn't think Kurt Suzuki was going to be the next manager of that team. Dude, the most shocking one, Craig Stammen. Love Stam.
Very, very similar kind of path.
Yeah.
Both front office guys, special assistants, and then kind of interview for the job. And obviously, you know pretty much everything about the organization and the direction and everything. But yeah, if I'm Kurt Suzuki, though, I know there's only 30 managers in the major leagues. I'm probably not leaving that Gucci job for a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. Knowing you're probably I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
He's so well thought of though, man. Like he may not, he only managed for a little bit, but somebody will have him somewhere. It's like Gibby, right? Like Gibby had no ties to the Angels. As soon as he's, Like,
I was
hey, we
trying
need
to
a
think
baseball
about what
mind.
I mean. I guess his only really tie is Perry Manazzi, and the GM
Yeah.
was in Toronto. I'm trying to think if him and Kurt ever overlapped anywhere because it felt like Kurt really, which is a smart hire by him. You first time manager, you probably want someone who's been there, done it before, being your bench coach.
Yeah.
That was a shocking fire, by the way, too, when Skip got fired from Miami.
There was a lot that went on over there. Like Jeter left. Their GM, like Kim, can't remember her name was. Last name.
Kim
Guillen.
yeah, whatever.
Gwyn Guillen. Like there's just a lot. I think there was a lot of disconnect between the ownership side and like the baseball ops side. Because I've heard nothing but unbelievable things about Skip.
What is the deal with that place, too?
Miami.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it should be. It feels like it should be a good market
Yeah.
for baseball. What teams do we think need to be active before the trade deadline? All of them right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a little premature to talk about it because everyone's so, like Cody mentioned, everyone's so bunched up right now. There's not true
Yeah.
buyers and sellers.
There's only a
I can
handful
speak on
of
I
big
can speak on
buyers.
Toronto's situation because that's a team I follow really closely. I would say at some point they probably need to get a big right-handed bat that can play the outfield
Yeah.
because right now they have 5 left-handed hitting outfielders,
Yeah.
and David Schneider hasn't been very good, and he's supposed to be your kind of platoon guy in the outfield. But I would say that's probably a team that needs a right-handed bat. You know, depending on their pitching situation. Because Cease left the game today with a hamstring.
Uh-oh.
Don't know the severity of it right now, but
That
they
guy
could
is
probably use it. And then who
filthy.
knows with Bieber? What's up with Bieber? Who knows if Max is going to come back this year? But
Those
they
shadows
could
are
probably
nasty
use
right now.
yeah.
Those
That's
shadows
an
are not
awful
fun.
time for a game right now.
If I'm a pitcher, I'm wanting to stay out there. So
What would you say? What would you say? And typically, they're not a team that does a whole lot at the deadline. They're very calculated. But
Who?
Cleveland. I mean, obviously, it's a team.
Yeah,
you know.
they're, you know,
Do they need like mid-tier back-end starter?
I think starting pitching, because if I'm looking at it, I'm like,
Well, who would they roll out in a series right now? Obviously, Gavin Williams.
you got Gavin Williams, Parker Messick, two
Yeah.
just absolute horses. You got those two. You got Slade Ciccone.
He's having an okay year, right?
Yeah, he's not bad. I think he's a guy too. If you get into the playoffs and
He's
you
your swing
run,
man.
if you run like 4 starters or 3 starters, and you put that guy in the bullpen,
Yeah.
whoa,
Elevate.
like could be absolutely filthy. Let me see here. Oh, and Bybee, and
Yeah,
so
Bybee's
Tanner Bybee right now, guy's 0-6,
He's off to a bad.
but he's got a 3.75 ERA. Like, dude is grinding, but he's every like you watching the first inning, you're like, man, like he just needs to make a big pitch here. He needs to make a big pitch here, and then you look up and he's gone 6 1/3 or 5 2/3, and he's given up 2. You know, like he's just a dude, like just a dog, and he's really really good. Their bullpen is really good. I think they maybe, and I think every bullpen, like when you're a perennial playoff team, like everybody's always going to look to like add a guy. Like why wouldn't you try to add one more piece down there, right? You got Cade Smith down there closing things out. He is absolutely disgusting. Hunter Gaddis is really good. They got some other really good pieces down there. Eric Sabrowski,
Lefty,
big lefty, dude.
What about the other really big lefties?
Tim Herron.
Is he back pitching good?
Yeah, he's pitching. He's throwing the ball well. He's a guy, like, if he's dialed, he's unhittable. But Sabrowski he's got a shot to be, like a weapon. Like an absolute, like, he could go out and throw 2 innings. Doesn't matter if right-handed, left-handed. He's got a chance to be an absolute weapon.
Pirates, just watched them play. Yeah, I think they could definitely
Dude,
use
they're
some
good.
bullpen help.
They're real. I think they're real.
I mean, how could they not be when you roll out Bubba Chandler, you roll out Mitch Keller, you roll out Paul Skeens in a series? They
And then
definitely need help.
They got the
The
Ashcraft kid, too, now, right?
And I think what's the Jones kid's coming back at some point.
Yep.
They definitely need a bullpen though, because They have this kid Montgomery. I don't know if you know him. He was in Tampa last year. He throws 100 from the left side.
Who doesn't?
He's pitching the 8th inning now. And they have Dennis Santana, who had a great year last year. You're kind of banking on kind of a up and down guy to solidify the back end of the bullpen. But I believe the Pirates have probably a ton of prospects. And that they could probably get
dude, they honestly
a closer.
They could be a team, and I'm not saying like Trout's going to say yes, but like in order to swing a trade for a guy like that, you have to have some serious prospect capital, and you have to be positioned well to win not only this year but like for the foreseeable future. And dude, with their rotation and that young nucleus, like you got O'Neal Cruz, Cabrian Hayes. You've got Connor Griffin. You know, you've got all of these studs.
Spencer Horwitz has been really good.
You got all these studs, and then you add in the rotation. Like, dude, you throw a guy like Trout, like a veteran guy, on that team. You just went from contender to like.
Said they have a lot of prospects. I think this is a good conversation. We could talk about this for a long time. The idea of. I think people have to understand prospects are super, super valuable to building kind of your team from the ground up.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to kind of push your chips all in and be like, the Pirates finally this year for the first time. And I think the last time was 2016. Ivan Nova signed a multi-year deal.
Yeah.
This was the first time since then they signed Ryan O'Hare to a 2-year deal. It's the first time in 10 years they signed a multi-year deal.
That's crazy.
They went out and got Marcell Ozuna. They traded for Brandon Lau. Like, they got a bunch of pieces. Like, you only have Paul Skeens for probably 6 years. More than likely, he's going to go elsewhere. Like, the Pirates can't afford him. Like,
dude, I think
at some point with that young pitching staff, you got to put your chips in and say, hey, we have these prospects. Let's go out and get proven commodities. Because people fall in love with this idea that prospects are going to be the next great. But if you listen to our show, there's a lot of great prospects that either come in with a lot of like accolades, first-round picks, and they don't pan out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys that get drafted late that pan out. Like, there's not a perfect science to it.
Yeah.
And I always use this as a perfect example. I don't know if you remember this, but God, what was the guy's name? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. He got traded for Lewis Princeton.
Oh, Lewis Brinson, the outfielder.
The outfielder.
Yeah, Lewis Brinson.
He got traded from Milwaukee to Miami for Christian Yelich. And everyone was like, why would you give up this prospect? And this is the way I think about things. What is the best case scenario? That Lewis Brinson becomes Christian Yelich? You're already getting the guaranteed thing, right? And obviously Christian Yelich has gone on to have a Hall of Fame career in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
You're banking on this idea that he's supposed to be someone, but when you get to the big leagues, it's a whole different level.
It is. I mean, because like I think every front office is like, you know, like I remember when Cleveland traded for Andrew Miller, right? Like they gave up Clint Frazier. They gave up.
And who was probably a top 5 prospect.
I think they legitimately thought like he was like.
He was
like
top 5 prospect in baseball.
Like I think they thought like they were firm believers like what they saw with the bat speed and just all of his tools. They're like, dude, this guy's Trout. Like, we could be trading Andrew Miller for Mike Trout. But we gave up, you know, I say we, Cleveland gave up a kid named Justice Sheffield who was like,
great.
He had
Seattle.
he had a chance to be like a 2 or 3 in a rotation. Yeah. And so, but you think about, but then in hindsight, you look and you're like, none of those guys did really anything. But then you can look at the trade when Cleveland traded Bartolo Colon to Montreal. They got Cliff Lee, Grady Sizemore, Brandon Phillips. You know, so it's like every now and then like one of those happens. And then everybody gets so like prospect hungry.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most recent one that people always talk about that like, oh, they shouldn't have done it was when Tatis was traded for James Shields.
Yeah.
And you're like, but you also can't fault a team for like going for it at the time. Like every once in a while you're going to miss. Like, great, he was a top prospect. He ended up being who you thought they were going to be. But there's so many stories about guys that were supposed to be this next coming of Jesus, and they end up not being it. So when you're a team like the Pirates and you got a chance to like do something, at some point you got to just you make a move unless you're okay being mediocre for a long period of time. And then you think about like the Astros kind of like changed the game a little bit too, where they just hoarded all these draft. They like tanked. That Sports Illustrated article came out where they said, hey, they were going to win the World Series in 5 years because they got all these draft picks, and it worked out.
Yep.
It also helps when you drafted George Springer and Alex Bregman, Carlos
you got to
Correa.
hit. You got to hit. You can't miss.
Yeah.
Like when you're in that phase, like you got to hit. Like when you trade guys, you got to hit. You can't hit. You don't have to hit on all of them, but you got to hit on most of them. Especially those high draft picks.
Well, especially when you're a mid-market team, you really got to hit on the.
Except I would love Lawrence Butler from the A's on the Pirates. I think everybody. Would love.
I mean, a lot of people love that, but I think the A's are trying to. I think the A's are like a perfect example of maybe where the Pirates were at a couple years ago, where they did a really good job of drafting and developing guys, and they've also done a really good job of signing these young guys. And
dude, do you remember? So I remember this. When did you make your debut?
2013.
13. So this was after you made your debut. 2014, Oakland was nasty. Dude, they were so good. And they traded. They made some noise at the deadline. Absolute noise at the deadline. They went and traded for Jason Hamill. They traded for John Lester.
Yeah, I remember they got Lester.
They traded for Jeff Samardzija.
Yeah.
But they gave up Jonas Cespedes.
Yeah.
Remember that? They gave up Jonas Cespedes for John Lester. And then they gave up Marcus Semien for Samardzija. And they gave up they gave up Marcus Semien for somebody. They gave up Addison Russell for Samardzija from the Cubs. Who did they get from the White Sox? I just said somebody.
Marcus Semien.
No, Samardzija came from the White Sox, and then Jason Hamill came from the Cubs. And so Addison Russell went to the Cubs, Marcus Semien went to the White Sox, and Jonas Cespedes went to Boston. And Lester was a rental. Yeah. They gave up Jonas Cespedes for a rental. Dude, that team down the stretch, you would have thought, like, man, they just added all this pitching, all this stuff. The fact that they just removed Cespedes from the lineup, they were never the same. Like, and they ended up losing the first round.
But I also think that's why you give up prospects.
No, they lost the wild card game to Kansas City that year. Donaldson was on that team. That was the year it was. Dude, that lineup was so good. It was Jed Lowry, Josh Donaldson, Brandon Moss, Derek Norris. Remember Derek Norris was an all-star. Jonas Cespedes. I think Sam Fold was on that team. Josh Reddick was on that team.
That's a good team.
Bro, their lineup was so long. What do you think is the biggest change in the game from when you both played to now? Well, last time I played in the big leagues was 2019, so a lot's changed. But, man, I would say from the pitching side, their pitchers now, like everybody has a multitude of pitches. Like everybody throws hard, but bullpen guys, they all got 4 or 5 pitches. And I think now on the hitting side, just looking at it, like you can't be like a clogger. Like you can't just be the guy that hits 30 but can't run. Like you got to be able to run a little bit. You got to play some defense.
Dame's definitely. I mean, I'm not that far removed. I played last year. I mean, obviously, when you think about rule changes, ABS now, like obviously the pitch clock, these are all things.
Yep.
But I think the game has just gotten. Oh, there we go, Mikey. I think for me, it's not necessarily when I like last played, but I would say like towards the end of my career to now, I just think the game. I guess to your point, like the base cloggers, the game has just gotten so much more athletic.
Yeah.
You would have you still have your occasional pitcher, your Bartolos of the world, right? But you used to have like the Pablo Sandovals and like the guys the Billy Butlers of the world. It's like all these baseball players are not just like, you don't have Babe Ruth rolling up there anymore. He's like smoking heaters, drinking beers and stuff. Like it's such a physical, athletic game now, and like the game's getting younger. Like the college game is getting so much better. High school is so much better. Like the guys are coming up so much more prepared to play in the big leagues. There used to be this huge learning curve from when I left college, when you left college. Like every level of the minor leagues was like, it took you back, like how talented guys were. But it feels like that learning curve for a lot of these guys is, because I mean, we can go to our local high school game here in Argyle, go watch Liberty Christian, and you're going to see guys throwing 95, 96 off the mound.
100%.
I went from high school where like maybe occasionally I'd see a guy throw 92, and I was like, oh my god,
Buzz.
right?
Yeah, you're like, dude, this guy's throwing BBs.
And then I get to college, and I'm facing guys kind of in the same kind of realm. And then I got to pro ball, and I'm facing kids from Latin America throwing 98, and I'm like, okay,
no clue where it's going.
like okay, I gotta like figure this out. So I just say it's like bigger, stronger, faster.
Dude,
I don't think MLB teams handle their org farm systems exactly the same. Just some are not smart. Just not smart baseball moves.
I would agree. I mean, I would agree. Every organization is different, but I think too. I think because you have this, there are certain organizations that do it better because they have to, like Tampa, right? Like they have to do it better. But then a lot of those guys, an assistant GM or like a farm director who's coming up through that system, he's taking a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of the same groupthink in a lot of these organizations now. Like these guys they kind of cross paths.
There's a lot
and
of incest.
there's
in
nothing
baseball,
super
yeah.
proprietary anymore.
The biggest thing is teams that are willing to, I guess I would refer to it as win the margins. Like you have to understand that the minor leagues is not like necessarily a place to like store guys. It's to develop them and give them the same, almost, you can't give them the same exact resources you get the big leagues, but when you go from one trainer to two trainers, and you go from one strength coach to two strength coaches, and you have you invest in the minor leagues, you give them weight rooms and stuff. Like all you're doing is developing potentially better big leaguers. Like just think about the difference from when you were there in the minor leagues in 2010, 11.
So I think too. So you talk about how orgs are different. So Anaheim.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there. Like
I was never in the minor leagues with
But, like,
Anaheim,
you were
spring
there.
No, honestly, I was never in spring training with them.
All right,
but I've been around it. Like, I know what you're saying. They finally invested in. They finally redid their facility.
Yeah, there's they and I do appreciate the fact that they're investing capital into their players, right? Like they were spending money on guys, right? But they were spending nothing on like facilities, coaches, like strength staffs, all that stuff. Whereas you go over to like a place like Cleveland, who they don't have a big payroll. But dude, their facilities, like their support staff, like all their ability to develop players was where they were like, that's where we're going to invest. Like we're investing all of our time and energy and capital into maximizing what we're able to draft or trade for or acquire versus, hey, I'm just going to sign this guy.
Well, think about too. Cleveland's not necessarily going to go out and sign a $200 million player, right? So let's just they're not going to sign a guy for $30 million a year, right? But they could take $30 million that they've spent on one player, invest it in their minor leagues, and probably going to develop a whole roster full of players.
Yep. Who's closing games right now for the Rangers?
It's
Is it Suarez?
It's Jacob Latz.
Oh, that's right.
And he's been really, really good this year. Like he was kind of up and down a lot last year. He kind of spot started a little bit.
Yeah.
He pitched out of bullpen, and they didn't have like a surefire closer this year. Like last year, they were kind of bouncing between Chris Martin. God, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Luke Jackson was closing games. They had Robert Garcia. And this year they kind of...
I know they really wanted that Robert Garcia kid to take the role. Like they really...
And there was a time last year they DFA'd Luke Jackson. Chris Martin was kind of hurt, and they gave the job to Robert Garcia. He has all the potential to do it, but, I mean, there's no one better to ask than you. Like, getting the last 3 outs of the inning is the game is just like a different mindset. You have,
Yeah.
and you've talked about kind of your mindset with it just being even kill. Some guys are like the amp up, like Louis Varland in Toronto is getting slapped in his back before it goes out there. This bulldog mentality. It's like you kind of just have to find what works for you. And some people are just not built for it. You can be a great 8-inning guy, 7th-inning guy, but some people when they get in the 9th inning, some people just aren't built for it, and that's okay.
So the Dodgers and the Rays, their farm systems, man. So I would say the Rays are probably the best in baseball at finding guys that are struggling somewhere else, and they kind of know why they're struggling, and then they bring them over and they give them a recipe for success, and then that guy blows up, right?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I've never played in the Rays organization. I have a lot of friends that played there, but I would say kind of what you're saying is, it feels like a lot of places would take someone and you're struggling and you're doing this and they're like constantly trying to fix your weaknesses. The Rays are so good at like, this is what you do well. Let's harness in on what you do well. I don't care what you don't do well.
Yeah.
This is what you do really well. We are going to put you in the best position to succeed.
Yep.
Right? Like for you, perfectly. Like, say you didn't have like good command of going in and out. It's like, hey, your fastball plays at the top of the zone, your curveball plays at the bottom. We're going to set up in the middle. Naturally, you're going to miss a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Don't be like, a lot of teams are like, hey, I need you to paint right here. And it's like the Rays are like, set up right down the middle, throw your heater at the top, curveball at the bottom. Naturally, you're going to miss to the corners.
Yep. Throw it in the trash can.
And then the Dodgers
Stop trying to throw it in the mailbox. Throw it in the trash can.
The Dodgers just like, and I think this is something that the Dodgers don't get enough credit for too, because obviously they have unlimited amount of money. They can go out and get the best guys, but they're consistently drafting late in the first round.
Yes.
You think about Will Smith. They got late in the first round. Dalton Rushing, they got late in the first round. You think about Jacob Wobolewski. They got him in like the 7th round.
Gavin Stone.
They do like a really good job of getting guys when they can draft them, developing them. And then obviously I think the Dodgers do a really good job, mostly because they don't have a choice. But a lot of times there's not a clear path for them to get to the big leagues. So they get a lot of seasoning in the minor leagues. They like continue to develop and get better and better and better. I mean, they have probably 5, 6, 7 guys in AAA right now that could play on a lot of big league teams.
They're big leaguers. And I think one thing to be said about the Dodgers is, bro, Andrew Friedman, like, he built the monster in Tampa.
Yeah.
So, like, you talk about proprietary information. Like, they essentially they have the same system over there. Well, they just have more resources.
I'll have to look it up on my phone here, but you could kind of look at the branch from Tampa, and it's like Andrew Friedman, Peter Bendick now in Miami. Chaim Bloom came from Tampa, who was in Boston, now in St. Louis.
Yep.
Obviously Eric Neander took over in Tampa, who worked under Andrew Friedman.
Yeah.
So to your point, there's not a lot of...
The 2 places who I think their front office trees are like extend the deepest, or the 3 places are Theo Epstein, Boston.
Yeah.
Mark Shapiro or John Hart in Cleveland, and then Andrew Friedman in Tampa, right? So like John Hart, when he was in Cleveland, he had Shapiro under him, like that guy. So if you look at like Carter Hawkins in Chicago, you've got Derek Falvey, who was in Minnesota. He was the president in Minnesota there for a while. I mean, there's guys all over the game. Shapiro, who's in Toronto.
Well, yeah,
Antonetti
Boston,
in Cleveland.
Boston, I'm just like reading the board up there. Ben Sherrington's a Boston guy in Pittsburgh now.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's.
There's certain places, and that's where it's like, everybody kind of picks it apart, and that's what they do. But I think those farm systems, like, there's probably a ton of similarities there. They're just in different markets. But talk about this one. How much do the shadows affect the hitters?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain time, and obviously this being Sunday Night Baseball, this is kind of a unique time in Anaheim. The shadows definitely play an effect when you're hitting. There's different types of shadows. It's like, it can either be like dark at home plate and then really bright on the hitter's eye, so the ball's coming out of like really brightness and then it's kind of going through the darkness. It makes it difficult.
What's harder?
Or when it's dark in the background and then it's coming in when it's dark in the background and then it's still like the shadows are in the outfield and the batter's box is lit up.
Yeah.
I think they're equally as challenging. I'm trying to sit here and think about.
I tell you this, dude. The only time I ever punched out David Ortiz in my career, I faced him like probably 10 times. Only time I ever faced him, or I only ever punched him out, was on one of those 4 o'clock starts, where it was like, it was like 7 o'clock at the end of the game, and I faced him in shadows, and I punched him out. That was
Where's
the
that
only
baseball
time.
real quick? It's just like I'm trying to like example too, like. So how would I describe this? I believe, and I would say a lot of people believe, as a hitter, there's 2 different type of ways that you would pick up pitches, right? Some people say they recognize spin. So like if I saw the ball spinning like this, I know it's a 4-seam fastball.
Yeah.
If I'm kind of like seeing the ball spin like this, it's a slider. If I'm seeing like this tumble action, it's a curveball, right? And obviously the changeup's the hardest one to tell, right? For me, I feel like it was a combination of there was certain times that I could recognize spin, right? But I would always tell people I think I recognize shape more.
Yeah.
Because the fastball really comes out like this and it's like straight, or it's like a 2-seam. It has like a path that it's on, right? And the slider you can see has like a little hump and it's going this way. The curveball obviously tumbles, right? When you're hitting in the shadows, you're so reliant on seeing, brightness, like consistent brightness as the ball's going, whether you're trying to pick up the spin or the shape of the ball. That's where it becomes really challenging. It just becomes a little bit harder to dissect the difference in kind of pitch movements or spin, whatever you can really see. So yeah, if the commentators are talking about the shadows, they're not making it up.
No, and especially
It's a real thing.
Yeah,
And it makes it difficult, obviously. When you're an organization, when you're a franchise, you clearly want to have Sunday Night Baseball. It's the only game going on right now. All eyes are on it. When you're a West Coast team, it has to start at, here in Texas at 6:20, West Coast 4:20. Like, normally that's when you're at BP, and it's a little bit different in BP because the guy's close. He's kind of just lobbing it in there. It definitely makes it challenging. I don't know if you ever had, and I'm sure you did in Cleveland, because small market, right? And even like in Toronto, we weren't like the premier market, right? Even though it's a big market, but it's Canada's team. I remember playing Cleveland in the postseason and going in facing Yodon Ventura. Kansas City, Yodon Ventura, and our start time was at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
And you're talking about the worst shadows you could ever imagine. Like the field is literally split in half, dark and light. You're trying to face this guy throwing 100 mile an hour and a 93 mile an hour slider. It was a
how
nightmare.
good was that guy?
Yeah,
Dude, rest in peace, man. Like, I remember watching him. He made his debut against us, and Kevin Cash was our bullpen coach, now manager, longtime manager at Tampa Bay. And he played in Boston, early 2000s. He's part of, some great teams there. And I remember he looked at us, because we look at, like, the guys that were, like, in the generation before us as, like, they're superhuman, right? And he was like, dude, that's Pedro Martinez out there. And I was like, what? And he goes, no, I'm serious. That's Pedro. And just like him saying it, and like he wasn't like BSing, like he was like, this guy's gonna be Pedro, just with like his demeanor, like how he kind of just like attacked guys, was not afraid at all, smaller guy, threw gas. Man, he was so freaking.
He would have
good.
been legendary.
He was so good.
He was so good, taken so soon, but it's like it's really sad because obviously it's bigger than baseball at this point, but he just like. I mean, there's not a lot of Pedros that grow on trees, right? Like he was like and I mean, talking about another guy, Jose Fernandez, that died too young too. Like these guys would have been. These would have been guys that like our kids were talking about as these like mythical creatures.
Dude,
like,
he was a mythical creature. Like Jose Fernandez, probably the single greatest pitching performance I ever saw live was him, 2013, and he was like 20 years old at the time. And I mean, we were a playoff team that year too. We won 92 games. And he went 8 innings, 1 hit, 14 punch outs, no walks.
Easy too. Huh?
And dude, so like, you know how
sweat.
like, a guy, it was like Andrew Miller, like he got so many like ugly swings on like a back foot slider or like a lefty slider, like he was getting swings like that on strike sliders, like on pitches that were like ending up down the middle.
Uh-oh. He got him. No,
Nope.
he didn't get him. Oh, that's so frustrating as a
Do you think
hitter.
he got it?
No, he would know. He's got so much power, dude. You talk about like I don't want to say quite legendary, right? But
Yeah.
you talk about like these guys that you play with that put on like the craziest batting practice performance you ever seen. Joe Adell is in my top 5.
Really? Because you play with some dudes. I heard Jonas Cespedes was one of
Yeah, I
those
mean,
guys.
I never played with him, but like, there's certain guys, and I don't know if Joe Adell's like at that point yet of like the Otanis and the stands where other teams come and watch him hit. But like, as far as teammates that I played with, when you talk about juice and BP, oh my goodness, dude!
I remember
Like,
the first time I ever experienced that was when it was 2013, that same series we're in, and when Fernandez threw that gem against us, we're in Miami, and that was the first time I'd ever played against the Marlins. Heard about this guy Stan, National League, we're American League, and dude, he's hitting BP, and no lie, they look like we all stop what we're doing, we're watching, and he looks like he's hitting like Pro V1s, just like out to left center. And our pitching coach is coming by, he's like, all right, man, you got to freaking pitch him inside, and I was like, well, I ain't throwing nothing at that guy. He was, dude,
what's crazy
that guy's
about
a
Stan? I
monster.
played against him in high school.
Really?
I played basketball against him. I played football against him.
Was
and
he called Mike, or was he called
Mike.
John? Mike?
He was Mike.
Mike Stanton.
And to me, I mean, basketball is one of those sports like, I mean, he wasn't like John Wall in high school, right? But like he was just so big he could like dominate. Like I don't think his future was in basketball. He just was bigger, stronger, faster than everyone. But this dude on a football field, oh my goodness. He was supposed to go to USC, and when he signed, I think he was a second rounder, signed with Florida Marlins, who are now the Miami Marlins. We could go back to our thing, but that guy was crazy.
Did you get a chance to chat with Chandler Parsons? Next time you see him, tell him Cody Allen said what's up. We played travel baseball together from like when we were like 10, 11, and 12. Bro, he was the best 12-year-old baseball player I'd ever seen in my life. Yeah, I swear. Dude,
is he still doing the Olympics volleyball? Oh, that's Chase Bunny. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I did.
Dude,
I messed that up.
When he was like a sophomore in high school, he was like, "Hey, I'm quitting baseball. I'm just gonna focus on basketball." We all said, "We're like, dude, you're a moron, man. You're white. You're never gonna make it in the NBA. Like, you need to stick to baseball." And then he hit a growth spurt and went to Florida and dominated. I watched that episode on Out the Mud though. It was good. Yeah. Right? I didn't know about that. That is wild. Dude, I'll tell you this. So this was back in the day, like AAU was like the only travel organization, right? Dude, we won the AAU Nationals like 2 years in a row. And all the coaches, like, and this is what we're 11 and 12, right? So I get it. But all the coaches in the tournament, there's 64 teams that make the tournament, and it was at Disney World every year. But you'd have teams from San Diego, from all over the country. And the coaches vote on who the MVP is. And you don't have to win the tournament to win the MVP. It could be anybody. Both years, it was unanimous vote, Chandler Parsons. Every coach voted for that kid. Bro, he was a guy. That sucks, man.
You were the other day, right? That was you guys who did that, right? Yeah, I was watching that the other day. That he had to like make a choice.
Yeah.
Play or take the insurance.
Where's home for him now? Is it L.A.? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really. I guess I'm 37. I'm going through it right now.
Yeah. Still, man.
I think the only thing at that point, when you have made a lot of money and you're retired, is like you kind of pick and choose what you want to do. But I can never imagine ever doing anything.
Bro, we gotta get these guys to sponsor.
I don't know. I guess this is a great conversation to ask, Cody. Did you find trouble when you first retired, like finding like routine?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because I will say this, like I remember when COVID was a weird time, man. It was a weird time. But I remember when I was still playing, like I thought, like I was like, hey, when I retire, I either wanted to go work for my agent and be like an advisor for players, right? Like not be an agent, but like, hey, like I just want to be a resource for these guys. Maybe go find some amateur talent. You know, go talk to guys, right? Because I have Barry Meister as my agent, Meister Sports Management. Love those guys. Guy's been around a long time. Like I still consider him like family, right? He still considers me family, even though I haven't paid the guy nothing in years, right? He still calls me all the time, sends my kids Christmas presents, like just good people. So I thought I wanted to do that, or I wanted to be like a special assistant working for Cleveland. Dude, I'm like 6 months into my retirement, and I'm like trying to figure out how to move into these spaces. COVID jacked everything up, couldn't do it. But I will say, like a year after that, like once everything started opening back up, I was glad I wasn't doing that. Because like there's so many other things that like I just didn't realize that were out there because I'd only ever done one thing. You don't really know what the landscape is because you've only ever kind of been in this lane. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess
I didn't think I'd be doing this.
I guess the question I would ask you too is, like I got to kind of play to a point where
yours was a slow burn.
It was a slower burn where like I went in I got to play for almost as long as I wanted to play, and I started mentally towards my last year in Anaheim. I started kind of mentally starting to transition to like, okay, what is life going to be like without baseball? What are the things I want to do? I knew I was going to take a little bit of time off when I first got done. I went and played for the Rangers, and then it happened, and then it was just over. So I went, it was my first time ever having a summer. So like I just like enjoyed the summer.
Yeah.
And
Kinda
then
do all
the
the
fall
things.
came around, baseball season was over. Luckily I got to like go do the broadcasting thing, so that kind of fell into my lap. But
Did you get the itch at all this year to play?
no. It's weird because like when I'm watching certain guys hitting, and like I see their numbers, and I'm like, man, I feel like I can go out there. I feel like I could still go out there and like, shit, I could hit 137 right now for a team, right? But I don't have any regrets. Like I played longer than I ever thought I would play. I checked off a lot of the boxes of things that I wanted to accomplish. And then honestly, like, I'm not in the same shape as when I was playing, but like literally every day something hurts. Like I got a bad neck right now. Like I had to go see the chiro the other day. Like I strained my neck, like and just being home with the kids is so nice, and like doing other things. And I think that's a cool part too, is you get to kind of tap into another side of you that you probably didn't even know you had. Like, shit, you didn't know you were going to be podcasting.
No clue.
Yeah, like 6-7 years, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think the ultimate dream for a player, is you get drafted, you get developed, you come up through the organization, you make your debut, you go through arbitration, you go 6 years, you finally hit free agency. You would like to sign, I wouldn't even consider a long-term deal, but you'd like to sign a multiple year, 2-3 years, because you'd like to establish foundation, roots, community, somewhere where you're playing, right?
Yeah.
And it was just always difficult for me to. Once I left Toronto, I went to San Francisco, and I thought I had the best year of my career, which statistically I probably did. And I went into that off season thinking, okay, I'm getting a chance to like play for San Francisco again, and then I got non-tendered, right? And then I was a free agent a year earlier, and then it took me a long time to sign with the team. I signed with the team, and then I felt like I went out and
Who'd
like
you sign
had
with
good,
after that season?
after that was a COVID year, so I signed with Boston. And then Boston that year, played 1 month Boston, traded to Colorado. Then I was a free agent again. I had the best year statistically. I had like 260, 270, hit 21 homers, drove in like almost 90 runs, played center. I played 161 games. I just didn't walk a ton. And at the time, Farhan Zaidi, who came from Oakland, he was really like a sabermetric type of GM, like really valued on base percentage, and that wasn't kind of my game, you know. And I was at a point where the amount of money I was going to make is kind of forced, right? Because you go to arbitration, it's all based off of comps, right? And I was supposed to make like, I don't know, like somewhere between $8-9 million. They didn't see that I was an $8 or $9 million player, so they non-tendered me, and then I became a free agent. You know, then I bounced around a ton of places, and it was hard. It was
like
hard
what Toronto
for me.
did to Chris Carpenter. They were
it was
like,
hard
hey,
for me, but it was probably harder for my wife and my kids, right? Because my kids were younger, but you know, my wife wants to like sit in the stands and like have relationships with other players' wives, and like no, and then you're picking up and moving, and my wife kind of got over it towards the end. She wasn't like coming to the games as often because we had young kids and stuff.
Pilar with the hammer of dip.
Yeah, so I just, I mean, there's certain places along the way that I really wish I would have never left Toronto. I mean, it wasn't my choice, right? I wish I would have stayed there forever. I was really happy there.
Did they ever?
San Francisco, I really loved being in San Francisco. I wish I would have got a chance to play there for more than 1 year, and I really, really loved Atlanta.
Did they? Were you ever with a team? I'm assuming if this ever happened, it happened with Toronto. But like, say after like 2016 or 17, did Anthopoulos or any of those guys, did they ever approach you about potentially signing an extension?
There was initial talks, and it's probably a regret of mine because the number offered to me was more than I made in my whole career, and it's not so much about the money. It was all the things that we just talked about,
the
like
years, the commitment.
being committed to a place. You know, I don't want to say creating a legacy there, but like playing in one place would have been really cool. But the numbers that were offered were, as someone else in my same position who was very comparable to me at the time signed for, you know, a lot more than what they were offering me. And I felt like our kind of values were similar, and it kind of never really progressed from there.
Yeah.
But I regret not doing it, not because I didn't make as much money. It was more what I know now is like the picking up and moving in different teams has its advantages because I met so many people in the game that I never would have done.
That is for sure. Who's the funniest teammate you ever had?
Oh man, Munenori Kawasaki.
Oh yeah, that guy was really funny. I didn't even play with him, and I laughed at him all the time.
Honestly,
that was
the other
Monkeys Never Cramp guy, right? Monkeys Never Cramp.
The other thing that kind of another sneaky funny teammate of mine, R.A. Dickey.
Okay.
Funny guy. Matt Olson, funny guy. Yeah, I'd say probably those guys are some of the guys that made me laugh.
Carlos Carrasco is a clown. He's a big prankster, really funny guy. You know who loved to pull pranks? Who like was an unbelievable prankster? I think he thought about this stuff all the time, but he never took credit for it. He was always hiding in the background. Was Corey Kluber.
Really?
Yeah, shocking. But yeah, he was always pulling one over on guys. Rich Hill is a really funny guy. Dick Mountain.
Yeah, Rich Hill was funny.
Really funny.
Want to hear a funny story? We mentioned this guy's name earlier, Brandon Drury.
Yeah.
We played together on the Mets, and we had Rich Hill on our team.
Yeah.
And Drury was a emotional roller coaster as a teammate, man. Like, he just cared so much, and he would just get in his own way sometimes.
Ooh,
and me and him were on the bench a lot in New York. And what we would, when we started getting the iPads in the dugout, you could go back in time and like look at videos. Me and him would always watch Rich Hill's at-bats. Hey, Rich Hill, dude, this dude refused to strike out. And I'm telling you, he would take these big swings early on, and then he'd get 2 strikes, and he was such a competitor. He would like get in the box like this, choked up, and he'd be like, and it was just, that's the only way I could get Drury to laugh.
Oh, man.
He would crack up so much.
Dude, all right,
watching.
did you ever play? You played with Rich or no?
Yeah, I played with him.
All right. Imagine that guy playing. So a young Rich Hill was.
I feel like Rich Hill was never young. I feel like
Dude,
he was always.
He
an
played for
adult.
Lou Piniella, dude, and Lou Piniella just freaking wore him out, dude. Cubs talk about what they did in their locker room, Game 7. What did the Indians do to the rain delay? Man, that rain delay was freaking weird, man. It was so weird because we were down, right? We were down in the 8th inning, Game 7. Rajai Davis hits the freaking homer. So, did he?
There you go.
Oh, man, what a catch.
Great catch.
Nice catch. Hit the wall.
Michael Hellman. Good catch, buddy.
Dude, so I go up. This is back when I dipped. I don't dip anymore. But, like, I was going up. I was still in the game pitching. So I was walking up to the clubhouse to get a pinch in between while I'm sitting there waiting.
Did they tell you were going back?
Oh, yeah. I was going back.
Did you guys know Did you guys, know, how short it was going to be, an idea that it was going to be a short one?
The goal was, it was going to be Kluber.
No, sorry, not that. Did you know the rain delay was going to be, short?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be
like
quick.
a little cell.
We knew it was going to be quick.
They're going to cover it, keep it in good shape, get it off. So, you knew. Because, if it would have gone 30, 40 minutes, you weren't coming back out.
No. So I didn't go back out after the rain delay.
Oh, okay.
So the rain delay was after, rain delay was it was before the 10th inning.
Oh, you already.
I was done. I was out of the game. I came in the 7th.
You were coming back.
No, so I came in the 7th inning. I came in the 7th and we were down. Threw 1 inning, and then the 8th inning happened. And then I threw the top of the 8th. So I've thrown an inning and 2/3 at this point. And it turns into a long inning because they bring Chapman in for Lester, and Brandon Geyer hits the double. Brings in Jose. Jose Ramirez is who chased Lester. Jose Ramirez chased Lester. Geyer comes in, hits a double, scores Ramirez. Then Rajai gets up there and hits the homer, right? The place is going bananas, tie game. Dude, I go up into the clubhouse to get a dip. And I walk in, and our head clubhouse manager, and dude, everything's covered in plastic. All the champagne bottles are there.
You guys went up with that home run?
No, we were tied. They tied it up.
Oh, okay.
And I look at our head clubhouse guy, Tony Amato, who's awesome, man. And he just kind of looks at me with dude, you're not supposed to be in here. You're not supposed to see this, And so I just kind of bury my head. I rip the plastic, get stuff out of my locker and leave. And then the rain delay happens. So I go out in the 9th. We get through the 9th. It's tied going into the bottom of the 9th. And Chapman ends up getting 3 outs. I don't know if you remember this, but Kipnis hit a ball. If you were watching it on TV, he hit a ball kind of like that one we just saw, but it was it was to right, and it looked like on TV it was like he clipped him. 2 outs in the 9th inning, it looked like he clipped him. Goes foul, hooks foul, and then the rain delay happens, and we all go up there and we're just loose. We don't say anything, but the clubhouse is covered in plastic, and so everybody's sitting there just trying to not let it, we didn't have a team meeting, right? They went in and had a team meeting of hey, freaking let's get it together. We were just up, we're going to go win this thing. We didn't need it. We had all the momentum. We felt good. And then freaking Schwarber.
Do you think it's I know we can't go back in time, but for the sake of it, do you think the outcome's different if there's no rain delay? Do you think the momentum was so real? So I guess my question to ask you too is he hits that home run, you've never been in a louder stadium. Dude, obviously, you talk about a David versus Goliath matchup. Not to say Rajai Davis wasn't a great player, but he wasn't known for hitting home runs,
I think he had
right?
6 bombs that year.
Yeah.
It's 6 homers.
He hits that home run. That stadium's going crazy.
Yeah.
When you guys came back out of the rain delay, was it the same feel in the stadium, or it was kind of it almost felt like the start of the game? It was
It was weird. It was the stadium was still jumping. Yeah. It was let's play baseball. But immediately Schwarber second pitch leadoff base hit, and then they just kept traffic and they put up a 2 spot, and we actually came up in the bottom of the 10th. and we scored like right away off Carl Edwards, and so it's 8-7. And then they bring in Mike Montgomery, and we just have Mike. We had put Michael Martinez in left when it was 1st and 3rd with like 1 out, and they brought Bauer in for Shaw, and Miguel Montero comes up, and or actually no, this was still Shaw was in. He hit the ball down the line, but they put Michael Martinez in left field for Coco, because they needed Mikey Mart's arm for Coco Crisp in left in case of a sac fly. And then, sure enough, dude, got tying run at second base. And we got Mikey Mart, who's our last out. It could have been Coco. Where it was like, dude, man.
Coco was still switch hitting too. So
he was banging. Dude, he's
what
another
a name, by the way. That's
dude,
like
I just saw him a couple weeks ago, man. Like, everybody talks.
Let's get him on the pod.
I would love to. He's in Cali, I think.
Coco Chris, if you're listening, come on, bud.
Yeah, let's go. Coco's the man. But everybody talks about, the trade deadline acquisition of like Andrew Miller that year and
Where'd you
Brandon
get Coco
Guy
from?
From Oakland.
Oakland.
He was like that August trade deadline pickup. Like, he was like a waiver claim.
I think that's another thing. Like, we could go back to that previous chat too. Is like that's a thing that people don't think about too. Is everyone always thinks about like the big sexy acquisition, but sometimes it's like,
dude,
you're
Coco
just like a
was,
position need, a veteran guy that gets it done, and they end up being. I mean, I think about in my own experience. Like, obviously, yes, we probably maybe aren't in the same position if we don't get Tulo and David Price. But you think about the not big names we got, like Mark Lowe was outstanding for us out of the bullpen. LaTroy Hawkins was outstanding out of the bullpen. And then Ben Revere was our leadoff hitter in the postseason.
Dude, you know who I think was an unsung guy for you guys? And this is just because I've heard stories about him. Gianna Navarro. Yeah. I heard he was a master.
The master.
At picking up guys tipping.
The best.
Like, I heard he was an absolute master at it.
I mean,
whenever I was on the mound,
I wouldn't say Jose and Eddie would thank him for his career, but he probably assisted in a lot of home runs that they hit because, hey, Gianna Navarro was hilarious, man, because huge soccer fan. He'd always wear a soccer jersey.
Yeah.
And you would think he never worked, right? But he would, because you would come into the clubhouse at like 2 o'clock or something, and he would just be like this on the couch.
Yeah.
Watching soccer and be like, what are you doing, buddy? But he had already been there, done all the homework. So we'd go in the hitters meeting, and he would tell us all the guys like little tips and stuff where he would like in game. He was a master at finding stuff.
Yeah, BJ Upton. That was another one you guys got. Yeah. He was a big right-handed bat for you guys. Yeah, everybody forgets like.
That was 16. I was thinking
JD came over in 18.
15.
Dude, the lineup that we had in 18, and we just didn't have the juice anymore. We didn't have like flow, right? And we ran into a really good Houston team. But like the lineup that we ran out game 1 against Houston in the playoffs in 18 was Lindor, Jose Ramirez, Jason Kipnis, Josh Donaldson, Edwin Encarnacion, Yonder Alonso, Michael Brantley.
Brantley was hitting that low down in the order?
Well, no, this wasn't. This wasn't. Okay. But dude, I mean, we got absolutely dirt rolled by Houston. Verlander was throwing.
Who would have been 18? It would have been Verlander,
Lance McCullers, Verlander,
Cole?
Charlie Morton.
Oh, Charlie.
And he was throwing.
Oh, buzz. He's sneaky. One of my
funny teammates.
Yeah. But off the field.
Yeah, Zobrist, dude. Zobrist was so.
See, that's a perfect example, and then I think that's the beauty of baseball, right? Is like, obviously we're sitting here and NBA playoffs are going on right now, but like, Wemby is going to determine whether that team wins or not. Like, Shea is going to determine whether that team wins or not. Like, yes, the stars are going to help you win a lot of baseball games, but they can't do it on their own. And then sometimes you have guys like Ben Zobrist who wins the World Series MVP.
Dude, he was. I think at one point, like he was like statistically, like analytically,
best postseason player of all time.
No, like analytically, like he was the most valuable player in baseball.
He probably doesn't get enough credit for. He, in some ways, kind of invented the utility position. He
Yeah.
was like the original.
Yeah, him and Joe
utility-
Madden.
I mean, I'm sure there was guys a long time ago, but like in like the 2010s,
Yeah.
he was, and obviously you got to thank Joe Madden for that. Like
Yeah.
having the creativity of like this guy could start at second base, third base, left field, center field, right field, like just invaluable.
Did he just
What
try
did
to
it
bunt
say?
with 2
Jose
strikes?
lost steam second half of the season. I don't remember that, but possibly. And the Astros were in the middle of their quote-unquote run. What does a quote-unquote run mean, Cody?
Trastros. You know what? I will say this, man. Like, we had very complex signs. We knew going in there, like, that our signs were so complex. And so I really don't.
Was the, like, the thought, like, the buzz already out, like, going into it?
Yeah,
Were you extra
well-
cautious? Or you guys were just really cautious anyway?
We were always pretty cautious. Not maybe as cautious as, like, teams in the East, right? Because, like,
Yeah.
it was infamous in the East. But, like, you know, if there's somebody standing on second base with 2 feet, like,
Yeah.
hey, let's change it up. But we knew, too, because this was the first year of, like, the mound visit rule was in 18.
Yeah.
And because that, all we did,
What would the mound is it were like limited
like the
mound
catcher
visits?
couldn't come out all the time. Remember the limited mound visits?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because I remember against, like, you guys, like, if we were playing you guys in the postseason or we're playing New York, you know, in 17, like, I would just call the catcher out and we just change the signs up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and
you could talk about it now. Would you? What were kind of your go-tos?
so I was 2-pitch guy.
Yeah, but what were kind of your go-to like sequences or like things you do like chase, outs +1?
So I was never a guy that used 1 for a fastball.
Yeah.
Like universal sign for fastball is 1.
Yeah.
Universal sign for curveball is 2. I used 3 was a fastball away, 2 is a fastball in, wiggle was curveball, and then 1s was fastball up to that side. And then when there was a guy at second base,
That's
I would just go
complex
like
anyway.
I would just go like, hey, strikes +1, and it would be
Yeah.
like strikes +1, but it was you know, so if I'm at second base, if I'm a guy at second base, and I see, hey, all right, if I see 1, 2, wiggle 3, and he throws a curveball, I'm thinking, all right, maybe it's second sign. But like I didn't throw the
Yeah,
curveball
I can
wasn't.
see that
You
could be
know what I'm saying?
complex, Yeah.
But if you have video, like if you have video,
Yeah,
and
eventually
also
you're gonna
too,
figure it out.
and also too, like I wasn't the only guy that did it. I learned that from somebody, right? And that guy, you know, like guys travel across the league. So when we went to Houston in 18, we used taps. So
Oh, that was like the
we
other.
used, well, what we do is, so if it was taps up, so if he went like chest, mask, shin guard, that was like tapped up. So if it was up, it was,
fastball. Or
if it was up, we used those like the awkward signs, right? Like where it's 2 in.
Oh, so he was only using the taps to indicate what signs. So if he went up, then you were using your complex signs. If he
went
started
down,
ahead, you were doing. A
if he
different set
went
of
if he went
signs.
up, 1s were like wiggle was curveball and 2 and 3 were fastball. If he went down, 1 was fastball and 2 was curveball.
So you're constantly changing it
Yep.
up.
And we even did that with nobody on. I remember seeing that back in the day. I remember Roger Clemens was paranoid, man. You'd see when he was pitching for the Yankees, like in the postseason, like you'd see Jorge Posada back there, like doing all kinds of stuff, like because they thought the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been in the game. Where it really
Danny Farquhar.
changed. Where it really changed is when technology got involved. Whether wearable technology, I'm not necessarily implying that. I'm just saying more when
The
we were
instant
able.
replay cameras.
No, I'm saying when you could see in the video room, you could see the catcher's signs. That's where it changed because it no longer really became organic. It
Yeah.
became something you could study and you could figure out.
you just had-
It used to be like, hey, we need someone to get to second base.
Yeah.
And hey, these are the things you're looking for. We're looking for outs +1. We're looking shake. We're looking, chase 3, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it might have been. There was all these sequences that you kind of had to learn, and you learn that in the minor leagues, right?
Yeah.
You'd
You could
always
also
talk
too
about
like
it.
one thing that people never talk about too is, the Astros team, like what they did was wrong. But I'm gonna say this: guys like Bregman, guys like Altuve, guys like Springer. I mean, George, like, dude, those guys are so dialed in to like what the other team is trying to do. Like we heard Ian Kinsler talk the other day. We heard Ian talk the other day. Like,
even Alex Cora.
Yeah, but we heard
manager, dialed.
we heard Ian Kinsler talk the other day about how like, man, I'm trying to see what the catcher can give away, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to see like when they do like the wiggle, right? Like I can see if I can see the forearm muscles like wiggling. I know it's not a fastball. I know it's an off-speed pitch. I'm gonna run, and so like when you get really good at that, and if you have a lazy catcher or a lax catcher or somebody like. Because it's easy to go to,
By the way, he's got 10 punchies, no walks.
Dude, both of these guys are carving.
1 run, 1 hit each.
They have pretty similar stuff. I know Gore's a lot more like direct. Detmer's is more like angles. But both of their breaking balls are wipeout. Gore's changeup's really good too.
Dialed in. I love this. When you're doing a live stream like this is like the ideal type of game right now. You just want like a competitive game, pitchers duel.
I do remember playing with Edwin.
He was also very good at.
So he had in the technology too, and he was really good at picking up like guys' tips and stuff. So he would be in the clubhouse. I remember seeing him all the time, especially when we're on the road. You know, because you're at home, there's like a home video room.
Yeah.
And so you're in there, like you got all, but on the road, you just got like a row of like laptops set up, you know, and you're watching. And he would have like overlays of a pitcher, like frame by frame on fastball, curveball.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's he giving away? And then if one of our guys was struggling, like I remember Carrasco, like he was infamous for like early in his career, like he tipped pretty bad. And Edwin, man, like if teams were taking like really good swings off of one of our pitchers, like first 2 innings, Edwin would go back there and he'd come right back out. He'd be like, hey, I got it. Like, this is what they're doing. Yeah, we do. Yeah, can you grab me one? Modelo.
Memorial weekend. Keep building this thing. Is that build? BLDG. Build? Building?
I think so. Building.
We are. We're here to stay. I think we've just kind of cracked. I guess not cracked. It's just the tip of the iceberg of where we're going. We're it's a slow burn right now.
Pushing the ceiling.
I mean, tell us who you'd like to see on the show. We're mostly doing retired guys because we feel like they tell better stories.
They tell really good stories.
They tell great stories because what you don't necessarily understand is you're a little bit tied to Major League Baseball as a brand, your teams as a brand, and you're always concerned about who's going to sign you next. So the tell-all is a little bit better from a retired player.
Dude, that is paint. Good night. Watch it.
What was each clubhouse thoughts going into the 2016 ALCS? You want to start or you want me to start?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think, where were you guys at in 15?
In 15?
Did you guys make the playoffs?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think for us, I think we had a lot of we definitely felt like 2015 was our best team, and we felt like we let it slip away a little bit in Kansas City, and then to get a chance to do it again the next year with mostly the same guys. To be honest with you, we didn't. There was a respect factor there, obviously, because Cleveland had. I mean, I'm trying to think. You had Corey Kluber, you had Trevor Bauer, you had Danny Salazar.
Well, so then
and you guys. I mean, you guys had like a legit pitching staff, and then obviously the back end of the bullpen. Andrew Miller, Shaw. Who am I missing? There was one more guy.
In the bullpen?
Yeah. It was Andrew. I'm trying to think. It was Andrew Miller. There was someone that you would go to before Shaw. in the bullpen?
I mean, we had in 16.
Yeah.
I mean, Clevenger was in the bullpen.
Yeah, Clevenger was nasty out of the bullpen, but like
Yeah.
we knew you guys were a good team, but you just feel like you get there the year before. I think you see in baseball all the time. I mean, perfect example, Texas Rangers win a World Series, haven't been back to the postseason since.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to get back there, but the fact that we got back there, the fact that we went through the wild card game, won on the walk-off homer, swept Texas, like just ran the floor with them. We had a ton of momentum going into that series, and we just felt like we were a team of destiny. Not that we took Cleveland lightly, and then obviously Game 1 was an epic game. Kluber versus Marco Estrada. Lindor hits that homer in the 7th inning. I think we lose 1-0 in that game, or 2-0 in that game, and it's like in those series, like the losses hurt, but you bounce back the next day, and like you don't feel out of it. But we definitely thought we were a team of, I don't want to say destiny, but the fact we got back there, we ran through Texas pretty easily. We had a ton of confidence, and it just didn't work out. We ran into a team that
were rolling, man.
Was rolling.
We were like, and I will say too, Terry Francona kind of won that series too. I know Andrew Miller, like he was the ALCS MVP.
Yeah, but the way he used them.
Man,
which was a nightmare for me because it was usually my pocket.
Dude,
second time around,
I'll never forget Darwin Barney talking about this.
Darwin Barney, Darwin's gonna get on this show at some point. We're gonna get his butt out of Oregon.
He was like, bro, I'll never forget. I'm in the dugout, and like, you know, they would pinch hit me for like Ezekiel Carrera or something and Miller was the only lefty you guys really had that you used.
It might have been the only lefty you had in the bullpen.
I think it was.
But like me and I was probably hitting like 7th or 8th, and like Zeke was hitting like 9th, or like Go-Go somewhere in that pot. He'd either hit for Zeke or he'd hit for Go-Go.
Yeah.
And it was like, it would always come at that bottom of the order. Like the guys would be on, he'd like punch my ticket, punch Darwin, and then he'd get the top of the order, and then he'd be out. And it's like, you want to know why I didn't have a ton of success in the postseason that year? Why I went like 2 for 12?
I know. I think I only faced you one time in that postseason.
It was the last out of the game,
Last
right?
out of game 1.
Game 1, yeah.
And but I'll say, like, when we knew we were getting, so we had just beaten a really good Boston team. Like that Boston offense was, they could score.
Yeah.
Like it was Mookie. Like their lineup was.
It was Mookie, Benintendi, Bradley.
So I'm trying to think of like their actual lineup was, Mookie, Pedroia,
Poppy,
Ortiz, Hanley,
Knapp.
No, Knapp was with us.
Oh yeah. So there would have been Vasquez.
Hanley,
Let's look it up real quick.
Jackie Bradley.
It was a great lineup. Where's Benintendi hitting?
They led Benintendi was hitting 9th.
This is what, 16?
16. But we just like kind of manhandled them pitching staff wise, and so we were feeling really good. I tell you who scared us for you guys.
We forgot about Xander.
Yeah, Xander Bogaerts.
And they had Pablo and Travis Shaw, Brock Holt, Benintendi, Jackie Bradley, Mookie Betts. Yeah, you kind of named it all. They went 93 and 69 that year.
Yeah. Dude, it's
okay.
Bro,
I honestly,
I was there, and we had Ohtani and Trout. We had Justin Upton. We had Albert Pujols. Huh?
Can I tell you why they've been bad?
They have a terrible owner.
Well, yeah, it's a bad owner. It's a bad owner, obviously. Look at. I'm very, very critical. I'm very, very critical of Artie Moreno because some of the things that he said. But I will give Artie this. Artie has done a really good job of going out and spending money on players. The problem is they signed a ton of guys. You know, I'll go down the list of guys, right? It was C.J. Wilson. It was Albert Pujols. It was Josh Hamilton. It was Justin Upton that were the best players in, like, free agent class, and the Angels went out and got them, and they just didn't perform well there. So at some point, he started getting gun-shy with going out. And the problem is he's never really spent I think he's come out and said it. He hates spending money on pitchers. But pitchers win.
Yeah.
Like, he had an opportunity to probably go out and get Garrett Cole's from Orange County. He lives in Newport Beach. Mm-hmm. They could have thrown the bag to get Garrett Cole. They could have gone out and got
You got to think that it's going to be coming. So, because Mikey really hasn't been in a spot in the last few years to kind of walk because he's been hurt. He hasn't had a ton of value, and I'm sure the Angels are like, we're not.
You're not going to sell pennies on the dollar. Like,
Yeah, because first the Angels got to accept the trade, and then Mike has to accept the trade. Mike can't go to them and say,
and he still owed a lot of money.
Yeah,
So you need him performing at like a high level. He's having a good
playing
year.
really well this year.
He's not hitting for like a high average, but his
OPS is a great statistic, right? It's like how much are you on base, and then when you get your hits,
plus walks
are they
plus what? I liked it there. I loved it there. I mean, I think it could be the best place in baseball to play because Orange County is not LA. Like it's a little bit calmer, easier. Traffic's not as bad. You obviously have Newport Beach right there. Like living there is a dream.
I loved living there. I mean, it was an awful season.
The philosophy is hired gun has been the same since. I think he probably has, and here's maybe a conversation too. Like, let's just be hypothetical. You're an owner of a team.
Yeah.
You investing a lot of time, money, energy into a team. And this is, I guess, a great comparison to potentially like Jerry Jones, right? Like, it's your baby. You're investing a ton of money in it, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, you need to go out and hire people that are better baseball minds than you and, like, give them the autonomy to do what's best for the organization, right? When you have a very hands-on owner like Artie, it makes Perry Manassian's job really hard because he may want to do things or trade for certain guys or acquire guys or sign guys, and he has to get constant approval from Artie, who might not want to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they're not as good as they maybe be. OPS is the king of hitting stats. As I'm going to respectfully disagree.
With what?
On base percentage being the king of hitting stats.
OPS, like on base slugging.
No, I disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a very telling statistic of a lot of things, but maybe call me old school.
What do you consider?
And I know that people are going to say product of opportunity and blah, blah, blah. Like, the ultimate goal in baseball is to score runs. So I think the combination of driving in runs and scoring runs is probably the most telling. Yeah. Because therefore, if you are getting on base, which is the on base part of slug, right? If you're scoring a lot of runs, you're probably getting on base a lot, right? And if you're driving in runs, more than likely you're probably slugging a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because you can have a great OPS and not score a lot of runs or drive in a lot of runs. And then whip, like, okay, is that like the most telling of a pitcher?
I don't think so. I think for a starting pitcher, probably. I think it's a really good tell of like how consistently do you just keep guys off the bases for a starting pitcher because their sample size is so big.
But once again, what is the most important thing? Scoring runs. Like,
yeah.
If you give up base runners and you get out of it, if you're a ground ball pitcher, you give up, a ground ball single and then you get a double play, like technically your whip is going to be like a little bit higher.
I like FIP. I like fielding independent pitching because that takes into account not like hits, right? Because like hits, somebody could just like, if I'm giving up soft contact but they fall, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to get soft contact.
Yeah.
But fielding independent pitching takes into account like, do you give up a lot of homers?
Yeah.
Do you walk a lot of guys, and do you strike a lot of guys out? So whip, I might give up a lot of hits, but it's because I'm pitching in games. Like if I come into a save situation and it's
you're up
4-1,
yeah,
and I'm facing the bottom of the order, dude, I am throwing heaters middle. I am not walking you. So I might give up 2 singles.
Yeah.
That's not indicative of, when it's a 1-run game. Like, hey, I'm going to, it's like we talked about earlier. If I'm playing game 1 of a 3-game set in Anaheim and I'm facing, Trout, Adele, and, Shenwell, I'm going to pitch them a little differently if it's a 3-0 game 1, because I might face them the next day in a 1-run game, and I want to be able to have something to go to. So I think, there you go. Mason Miller's FIP is negative. Dude, that guy, he might win the Cy Young.
You know what's crazy? And this is not me making a claim that he's better in any way. But Louis Varland has better numbers than him right now.
Than Mason Miller?
Mm-hmm. Lower ERA.
How? I didn't think Miller had given up a run yet.
He just gave up a run. It might not be now because I think he did. I know Pilar wasn't an iPad guy. What are you talking about? If he's referring to the iPads in the dugout, I was all over that thing. I was tastefully done though. I wasn't the guy who like had a bad at bat and I ran back to the iPad right away to see it. Like I still believed in like watching the game, cheering on my teammates, but there'd be certain times I'd watch the iPad to like figure out. You know what really changed for me with the iPad being a bench guy?
What's that?
Was being able to prepare for pinch hits. I could sit there and be like, okay, these are the lefties in the bullpen. You know.
So here you go, a whip. So 1.08 for Louis Varland.
Yeah.
That means he's giving up a walk or a hit per inning.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's still a good number.
He just recently
but dude,
had
he's been
games.
so much better than a one whip. So I wouldn't look at his whip.
What's his ERA?
0.65.
Yeah, and he just gave up a run the other day. Kind of like you were talking about. He was in a he came into appearance where he was up 3 runs and he just pounded the zone and he ended up giving up like a single first to third or something, and then he got out of the inning and he gave up a run.
Yeah, he does have a lower. Bro.
Wherever you want to go. He wants. Hey, you guys should come to that game that we're all gonna go. Or you're gonna go to.
I'm gonna try. So
Or
it
the
might need to be
Cleveland
June
game.
6th.
What?
It's a Saturday. You talking about a Rangers game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're taking when Cleveland's in town.
Yeah, Cleveland's in town June 5th, 6th, and 7th. 6th? All right, I need to try and figure out my 8-year-old's team has a tournament that weekend. But I'm gonna put in a schedule request, try and get those games in the morning, so then we can go to the game at night. We'll get BP passes. We'll go on the field and all that stuff. It'll be fun.
I wish I could join you guys.
No, maybe twice. Yeah. No. I actually saw it as like because they have because it was before I was like setting up or closing, and so like at that point, man, you're like, hey man, how can I like lock down a spot on this team?
Yeah,
right?
it is pretty wild that a lot of us. Let me rephrase
Longo.
that.
I had to hit Longo.
From
Longoria.
the same.
My
small
first one,
town.
I had to
We
hit
all
Longo.
live kind of in the same small town.
I mean, I hit him with 97. I hit him right in the butt. Who's mad?
Marco Estrada had to hit Longoria, and they were college teammates, and it hasn't been the same since.
Dude, Louis Varland has been better. Like, he's not only like lower ERA, he's according to WAR.
Yeah, I know.
According to WAR, Louis Varland is better than Mason Miller.
The only reason I know that is because I cover the Blue Jays, and like he's been like
That is shocking.
He's been like historically good to start the season, and he's closing games now. And then I know it's crazy, right? Read the numbers.
Dude, so Mason Miller in 20...
And it's not me making. We're not making a claim that Louis Varland is.
He's the
better.
best closer in baseball.
Yeah, we're not making a claim Louis Varland's better than Mason Miller. Statistically, right now, Louis Varland has been better.
Than Mason Miller? No.
No.
I mean, my best year statistically was probably 2015. I had 99 punch outs, saved 35 games. Oh yeah. I was really close a couple times. I was known for 2017 I just missed it. 2015 I just missed it. I was known as a really slow starter. I had some terrible Aprils, and so by mid-season my numbers were still like just okay. Well, after the first month, I would cook. It takes forever for a reliever. Like if you give up 4 runs in an inning, it takes forever for that ERA to come down.
Do you think you were a slow starter because not the same usage in spring training? Do you think it was because it's so damn cold in Cleveland to start the year?
I think sometimes it takes. It is freaking cold in Cleveland, man. It is cold.
You're also not pitching like high leverage situations in spring training.
Yeah, and then your first game, it's like, hey, 2-1 against Houston, go get them. Like, you got to get Evan Gaddis and like
Springer and Bregman.
Yeah. So that's pretty much determined pretty quick for most guys. I was a reliever like from the draft. Like they put me in the bullpen. Yeah, it was like I didn't throw super hard.
Well, there's
as a
different
starter.
roles in the bullpen too. Like there's certain guys that are just strictly.
Yeah, I had 2 good pitches, right?
Did you ever have a third?
I had a like
you were a starter, so it's important.
when I was in AAA as a reliever, I had 3, and it was like I was trying to turn my slider into more of like this like hybrid cutter slider, like a hard. It was just it wasn't hard enough. Yeah.
There's names for everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the difference between him and those guys is they got 4 days off to do it again.
Yeah, I might have to come pitch tomorrow.
They pitch once every 5 days. So a starter. No, starters will still pitch more innings.
They'll still pitch way more, but
an elite starter
200 innings.
is 200 innings is like the threshold that takes you into like, hey, this is a big dog. Right now, most starters probably get around
170.
between 60 and 180.
Yeah.
Because he got a big deal because he's nasty, but he also got a big deal because he takes the ball every day. He takes the ball every 5th day. So as a starter, you got 30 to 33 starts.
What's that? Well, not necessarily. The reason, so like I wouldn't have made it as a starter because like my mechanics, like how my arm path worked, I would have broke down and my arm would have just like. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
He probably could because he only throws 80. Like he only throws 80 miles an hour. It's so unique.
There's like one other guy in baseball who pitches from that angle.
Like it's so unique.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, his stuff, quote unquote, his stuff is not great.
He's throwing optical illusions up there. He is literally throwing magic tricks up there.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. They're magic tricks.
Hey, well, yeah, also, too, this is like just a little scientific thing for you real quick before we answer this question, but I don't know if you're familiar with like college softball or like softball players. Those girls throw like 100 pitches too, and they come back the next day. Like the natural throwing motion is actually underhand. So the fact that Tyler Rogers really throws like underhand makes him so valuable because he like a reliever.
He probably could pitch every day.
What was the most games you pitched in a year?
In a year, 77.
Which is incredible. Like Tyler Rogers averages 80 games a year, so he pitches half the games of the year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, way less wear and tear on his arm.
What was your least favorite park to pitch in?
Oh my
dude, man, it depends. Pitching in, being in Yankee Stadium is awesome. Pitching in Yankee Stadium, dude, ball goes in the air and you're like, dude, that place is a crackerjack box. But I'd say Oakland was not fun just because. And I actually enjoyed like going to San Francisco. I enjoyed, say what you want about the ballpark, dude. The optics of it, like I don't know how, because how big everything was. Every time I was standing on the mound, I felt like I was pitching from center field. Like you feel like you're so far away, and so it just changes how you throw the ball. Like I hated pitching Oakland, and I hated warming up on that mound because, dude, those fans in the corner over there, dude.
14 punchies, by the way.
I know. Opening day 2014, we're warming up, and dude, they're rowdy. They're rowdy in Oakland, and dude, they're throwing batteries. They were throwing batteries. So yeah, that place was.
I think for me, I mean, statistically, the best.
Park?
And someone asked me. I found this out the other day. Statistically, the best ballpark I hit in was Washington Nationals.
Really?
I don't know why. I don't know.
It's not really known as a hitter's yard.
But no, maybe that kind of played into it a little bit, where it's like, maybe it's just so symmetrical, good hitter's eye. For me, right center field wasn't my strength, but it felt like I could clip one out to right center field.
I like that park. I like that park.
For me, so statistically, the Washington Nationals was my I had the most success in that ballpark. For me, which is crazy, I thought I would hit more homers there for as many times as I played, and I think I only hit 2. But Fenway Park played right into my game. I was a pull side in the air type of guy, and I thought I would have just killed Fenway, and I really only hit 2 homers there. Oh, how good was Max Out Blake Snell in 2018? So people, you get asked this question all the time: who's the nastiest pitcher you ever faced? And like, the year Blake Snell won the Cy Young in Tampa in 2018, the second half of the season, they were kind of keeping him on this inning limit. He would go 5 and dive every time. Dude, I was swinging at curveballs that were hitting the grass in front. Like, he was so good. It's the best pitcher I ever faced. Oh, Kansas City? Beautiful ballpark.
Yeah. Alex Gordon hit one way into that water fountain. Kauffman? Yeah. It's Kauffman Stadium. I don't know why it's named Kauffman. I have to look at that one. Not anymore. I'm pretty sure Sherman owns them. Just fact check that. But dude, so funny story. I give up an absolute nuke to
this guy didn't thank you.
Thanks. Double A's too, not triple A's. We're playing Sunday night baseball.
This is for you.
Wow. At what point did you realize Jose Ramirez was dude?
Day one.
Jose Ramirez, like, hey, so I will say, like,
he had kind of a cool like trajectory because he like came up as like a pinch runner early, right?
2013, man.
Yeah.
Like, we were like rookies together, and he's still playing. Dude, so this guy, and I remember I kept hearing about him, like Sean Armstrong. Some of these guys that were like
Sean Armstrong, love that guy.
Yeah, so we got drafted together, and he's still in Cleveland. But bro, he freaking everybody's talking about this Jose Ramirez kid. And he comes up. He's kind of, we're like, all right, we'll see how good he is. Dude, 2016, he's our opening day left fielder because Brantley's hurt. He had labrum surgery, and he never really came back from it.
2013, he came up kind of like a pinch runner.
Yep.
14, where was he?
So he was up and down from AAA to the big leagues, up and down. Mike Aviles was essentially our starting shortstop in 2000. No,
what was Jose's?
No,
what was Jose's,
take that back. As Drupal Cabrera was.
What was his natural? Was he a shortstop?
He was a shortstop in the minor leagues.
And I remember him playing second early on.
Yep, he was a shortstop in the minor. He played second early on because in 17 because Kipnis got hurt. Kipnis pulled his hamstring. So then it was Lindor and Ramirez up the middle, and bro, they were and we had Gio Urshela playing third. Yeah. It was, dude, that defense was nasty. But I'd say 2016 is when we all realized we're like, bro, he is so good.
Finish your Jose Ramirez.
No, 2016. I mean, I was when like we all kind of were like, everybody was kind of looking, even in like the World Series, like everybody was like, like, oh, everybody's, I'm sure the media and stuff was like, we need to get Lindor up there with guys on it. Yeah, Lindor was like, dude, man, he's a perennial all-star, he's a superstar. But all of us, we were like, bro, Jose, like that's why, dude, Jose Ramirez was protection for Edwin. In 17, when we signed Edwin, Jose was like Tito. We all knew how good he was because it was like, hey, we gotta protect Eddie with Jose. And you think about what he's doing now in Cleveland, like, bro, he's been doing that mainly with nobody behind him, like no protection.
He is.
Good question, Dirty Dan.
He.
Yeah, I see that.
He's Dirty Dan. Appreciate you, man, for being a member. Appreciate all the questions, too. This has been fun for us. We love talking the game. The current game, obviously, we get a chance to talk the old game because a lot of our guests are old and done playing it like us. So this has been awesome for us. And obviously a great game, too. Reed Detmers, I think, finished with 14 or 15 punch-outs. Mackenzie Gore had 10 or 11. 1-1 game going to the 8th inning. And now it's a matter of Cody's world.
Yeah.
What bullpen is going to hold here? I'd like to think the Rangers have the slight advantage in the bullpen.
So they do, but here's the
They
thing.
do have Kirby Yates, by the way.
The Rangers do?
No.
Oh, the Angels.
now.
So this is where it depends on how. This is where managers make their money. This is where they can really make their money, and that was
How about
filthy,
this guy,
by
Jacob
the way.
Junis, man?
Still doing it. Do you play with him in San Fran?
No, he was there after me. But
Okay.
He's kind of just been like this, like hybrid.
He was in Cleveland last
starter.
year.
Yeah, he had a good year, right?
Good year.
Starting or relieving?
Relieving. But he could spot start if you need him to. But the home team in these situations, I feel like, has the advantage because you have to play it out with your guys, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to, you have to use your closer in a tie game in the 9th inning. Like, whereas a visiting team, like they
Sorry,
won't.
Buck.
They won't, huh?
Sorry, Buck.
So you won't see. You may not see Texas's dudes, like their closer or their setup guy, until they get a lead, right? You'll see the setup guy in the 9th, but you won't see the closer maybe. But I don't know. It depends on the manager. Tito, dude, I was a closer. But he threw me out. If it was a tie game on the road, he was sending me out there because his thing was like, if I get you up, I'm getting you in. Like I'm not just gonna keep getting you
what
up.
about
Get
the
you down,
idea
get you up,
too?
get you down.
What about the idea is like, and I hate going back to this, right? Because we love Buck Showalter.
Yeah.
Probably our favorite guest we've had on, our most successful podcast to this point. But a lot of times as a manager, you have to use your best arms to like keep the game going. It's like, what good is Cody Allen? Yes, we want him. If we take the lead in the 10th inning, we want him to close out the game. But what if we don't get to the 10th?
Yeah, 100%.
So like, you have to do your best job of getting to extra innings. And at some point, you have to trust the guys in your bullpen too, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're the closer. You should be getting the last outs of the inning. But if there's no outs to get, then you're no good.
Yep. And that's kind of the thing, and that's where like, sure, it's nice to have like a really good guy in the 9th inning, but man,
Can't get to the 9th if you can't bridge it.
you gotta have dudes, man. Like you gotta have a plethora of dudes, and that's why, I think what Kansas City did with those 2014, 2015 teams, man, like it wasn't just Greg Holland and Wade Davis. Like it was Hoshaver, Herrera.
Yeah.
They
Danny
had Jake
Duffin was in the-
Diekman. They had, dude, it was just guy after guy after guy. And that was like, man, if they ever got, and it was also too, it's like one of those games where like, if they were down 2 in the 6th, like the other team's not going to score for the rest of the game.
So I want to beat the drum for this real quick too, because Cleveland has one of the best guys. But I believe. So here. I'm gonna stand on this. I'm gonna stand on this pedestal real quick. I think the All-Star game needs to have a utility player in it. I think the All-Star game also has to have a setup guy in it too. Because typically it's just gonna be your back end closers, right? But like Cleveland has one of the best guys. Kate Smith doesn't get as many opportunities if what's the homie's there who pitches the 8th inning? The guy with the curly hair and the beard we were just talking about.
Gaddis?
Yeah. You don't get there without him.
Yep.
And he's been one of the best relievers in the game, but he's never gonna have like the respect or the accolades because no one's taking an 8th inning guy to the All-Star game.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
you
had
should
to be
take like the best setup guy.
Well, I think they do. I think every year there is like maybe one setup guy that goes. Like I remember when we were playing, like it was Dylan Betances, right?
Yeah,
or
but
it
he
was
kind of
like
like a hybrid closer though too.
But not when they had
But he was
Chapman.
also like a star,
they
I
had
know.
Chappie,
And Zach
But
Britton,
then, when Kansas City had Wade Davis setting up for Holland,
Yeah.
right? Like, but those guys had to put up like literally like historic numbers, right? It was, I think Wade Davis one year gave up 2 runs the entire year. And same with like Zach Britton, right? When Zach Britton was setting up for Jim Johnson, I think it was, like, dude, there's no way. But yeah, I think there is. I think if you sat down and asked all 30 managers, they're like, hey, if you had 2 really good relievers, where would you use your best one? And I think a lot of them might say, like, I'm probably going to keep that guy as my Swiss Army knife, right?
Well, I think that's what the Blue Jays are going through right now is, Jeff Hoffman had a little bit of a tough go-around closing, and they had to use Louis Varland in the closer role, and he's been unbelievable in that role. But ideally, they would want Louis Varland in that fireman role because, once again, if you can't bridge the gap to the 9th inning to use your closer, The most, and you've talked about it being a closer, which is weird you saying because you made a living getting the last 3 outs of the game, but the last 3 outs aren't always the most important outs of the game. There's usually an inning when the starter gets in a little bit of trouble, 6th, 7th inning. There's 1st and 2nd, or 2nd and 3rd, 1 out.
Well,
you go to your best reliever to get a punchy.
Yeah, and it also depends on where, so if you're playing Boston, right? And hey, it's the 8th inning, and you've got freaking Mookie Betts, David Ortiz, and Hanley Ramirez coming up. Or the next inning, you're going to have Travis Shaw, Christian Vasquez, and Brock Holt coming up. No knocking on those guys at all.
I know what you're saying.
But, like,
you want to get
you got 3 guys that are competing for the MVP award.
Yeah.
And then you've got 3 pretty good big leaguers. I want to use my best arm to get those 3. I remember Tito called down, like, I had reverse splits. And those years in 2015 with Kansas City, Brian Shaw was so good against right-handers. And I had reverse splits. I was really good against lefties. And there were a few times where he would call down, and we're facing Kansas City when they had, Moustakas, Hosmer, Gordon, like all those lefties. And he called down. He's like, hey, if those lefties are coming up in the 8th, Cody's got it. Like, I don't want him to get caught off guard. I know he's, our 9th inning guy, but if the lefties are coming up, Cody's got it. And then Shaw will have, Salvador Perez, Alcides Escobar, and, the other righties. I don't know. This guy's throwing 100-mile-an-hour sinkers.
Cody, our guy Arden wants to know about pitching in the Trop.
Oh yeah. I didn't mind pitching the Trop. It was going. I'm from Orlando, so it was like going home for me.
But I've heard that rumor before too that everyone feels like the mound's a little taller there. Hitters hate hitting there. I think it's the atmosphere more than anything. I think it's like the weird roof and stuff, but pitchers seem to love pitching at the Trop.
I do remember feeling like I had really good stuff there, but that was the last big league mound I ever stepped on. I absolutely got smacked by Tampa, and I got sent out the next day.
That was with Anaheim?
Yeah. Gosh. What's up?
Oh, dude, it's unbelievable.
I've seen video, like the Hall of...
It's so nice.
I want to see it.
When I first went there, when I first went back there, like as a visiting player, and they changed it, I was like, ugh, why'd they do this? Now when I watch the old video, that place looked like a dump.
Yeah, no, they said it was built in the 80s.
It was, but the thing too is what I'm like, what
Dude,
I gathered,
the
and what
old
I'm
clubhouses, man, were dogs.
But
oh yeah.
But the Rogers Center was originally built as a multi-purpose stadium, right? Because they played arena football in there, not arena, Canadian football there, right?
Yeah, CFL is Toronto Argonauts, right?
Yeah, they played the CFL there. Now it's just a baseball stadium. I kind of always liked this feeling when you were in the Rogers Center that it felt like you're in an arena, and they've now made it feel like you're in a stadium.
Toronto?
Oh yeah.
It's because it can. How many people can fit in there?
Well, less now.
Was it like 56?
No, it's like in the 40s now. They got rid of a lot of seats. What? Yeah, it's a little.
Dude, when we played you guys there, the loudest game loudest spot I've ever been in, seriously, might have been 2015 regular season.
Yeah. Well, this goes back to the old conversation about the Angels, right? To me, and I like to consider myself a little bit of a business guy. Like I understand like general business, but you put a good product on the field, you invest in your team, you build a nice stadium, you make it a place that people want to come to on a Friday night or a Monday night because it's a fun place. Like all the new rooftop bars, lounges and stuff they built, people want to go. And then in addition to that, you have a good product on the field. Like you have a winning team. People support winners. You want to know why? Who are? Well, we have to take that statistic with a grain of salt because they are playing in a minor league stadium, and I don't think it holds much more than 10,000. Yeah, but no, probably 2 years. They're building the stadium right now, but they're playing in Sacramento, which was, well, they said we're moving to Vegas, and they gave up their lease in Oakland.
Oakland, yeah.
And then Oakland was like, hey, if you're moving, you can't have the Coliseum anymore, and they had to find a place to play, so they're playing in Sacramento at the minor league stadium. In fairness to them, 10,000 is probably what they were drawing in Oakland too.
Honestly, it probably was. Oakland is such a scam. Dude, so there's a revenue share model. What do they call it? It's the
Yeah. And that place holds a lot. And if you watch the WBC, you saw when Venezuela, Dominican.
Oh, when that place gets packed, it's loud. Yeah.
It wasn't always that way.
No.
They used to have an outdoor stadium that was kind of a dump too, and they did well. But once again, I think it's the chicken or the egg. You got to put a good product on the field. People come and support them.
They won 2, 97 and 03.
So maybe what the casual baseball fan doesn't understand though, and this was to Cody's point, there is a revenue sharing model where teams that
the 15 biggest markets are paying the smallest 15 markets.
Yes,
Bro,
paying taxes.
I know,
but the Dodgers also have, and this is where the playing field's not level, and this is probably a big argument in the CBA coming up, is not every team has a TV deal.
Yeah.
A lot of teams they're not even regional anymore.
Yeah.
They have Major League Baseball owns their rights.
Yeah, Cleveland's one of those teams. MLB owns 14 markets.
Where the Dodgers 10 years ago or 15 years ago signed a 30-year deal with Time Warner Sports that was like $8 billion. So that's where they're getting their money to spend players.
Yeah.
They also understand when you're getting $50,000 a night, it's easy to go out and get Ohtani because the TV deal pays for it.
So what now?
It's hard.
What'd you say?
When there's not a lot of people in the stadium when you play.
It's difficult.
That's what makes going to Tampa so hard is they're always good, but they don't draw well, and it kind of like rocks you to sleep a little bit going there. Awful. No, they never.
No, they're usually good, but their attendance is
and
terrible.
they have the best record in baseball right now. Yeah.
What's Cleveland at?
It gets better when it. But
That's
Toronto's
wild.
also, I mean, not to say it's not a great team and a great atmosphere. It's also indoors, so that helps. Cleveland, it's cold as hell early in the year. Like in the summer, that place sells out every night.
Not every night, but they get some good ones. Yeah. Phillies that's a really fun stadium.
It's an intimidating.
Dude, those fans.
I bet
are
you Atlanta's up there, and
insane.
I bet you Atlanta's up there on top of it. So Angels, one is a
California,
big
man,
stadium. The weather's always good. It's a fun thing to do on a weekday. You go to a game. They never really sell out, but they never don't have people in the stands.
Yeah. They also too are infamous for like they will only have a day game if they're forced to have one. Like their owner, like so I'll have to give you an example. Like we were flying from Anaheim to play. We were playing Kansas City the next day. And the latest we were legally allowed to have a start time was 6 p.m. They had our game start at 6 p.m. We had to go all the way to LAX because John Wayne was closed. So we had to go to LAX. Dude, we didn't get to Kansas City till 4 a.m. We had to play that day. Whereas like most teams are like, no, we'll start the game at 1 so that we can get in at a decent time and have it, like, but he was like, no, we need the gate. Like we want the gate. Ooh, buddy. Top 9. Texas bullpen ain't exactly nails either. That Texas bullpen. Oh, the Burger Boy.
Burger.
Bro, I've
So,
I mean,
yeah, it's closing.
Father Time's undefeated, for everyone. But, dude, when I tell you that
He was on pace to be the best player ever.
ever,
So, Kurt, you might not know this as like a newly new to the baseball world again, reintroduced, but there's kind of a threshold you could hit in terms of WAR, which is wins above replacements. It's basically saying how much better you are than a league average player.
yeah,
There's a Hall of Fame standard, which is like 65 or something. Pretty much if you get to 65, you're in the Hall of Fame. Trout's already surpassed it, and his
Yeah.
career's not even over. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
It's a shame because the last 3 years we kind of got robbed of. We could be sitting here if he didn't get hurt the last 3 years, and it's not his fault, just weird injuries.
Is that weird? And just,
Hammock bone, he had a calf injury, he had the
knee.
meniscus.
towards
We're
meniscus.
sitting here talking about him in the same breath as like Mickey
Willie
Mantle
Mays,
and Willie
yeah.
Mays and stuff. Like that's how. Oh, the old backup slider, best pitch in baseball when it works. Don't want to go 3-2 here.
Dude, so
You have to end the bat here.
What happened to Roberto Ozuna?
Dude, he's still pitching in Japan.
Is he?
He's made a career in Japan, yeah. So he had one of those allegations.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details of if it was real, fabricated. Nonetheless, Toronto wanted nothing to do with him. They traded him to the Astros.
Yep.
That was a kind of a dramatic thing, and then,
Never quite the same.
yeah, no, not even quite the same. He kind of got blackballed a little bit and had to go back pitch to Mexico a little bit. But to his credit, he's had a nice career in Japan. He's been over there closing games. You talk about, in my opinion, if he didn't get hurt,
He was filthy.
I mean, how many?
He was
people-
closing
how many,
games out.
Like 20 years old. How many
Yeah.
kids start at 20 years old? Let's imagine he pitches 16 years, which I think he was capable of doing. Of all the pitchers I've ever played with, even at 20 years old, and a lot of guys that I played with that were pitchers, he had the best feel for pitching I've ever
Yeah.
seen. He could throw any pitch.
And he also
any zone.
never seemed to he just had such a slow heartbeat.
So I think his dad played in the big leagues. He grew up playing in the Mexican league, like where we went to high school.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
playing in the professional league. So
Yeah.
he was playing in high leverage games at a young age. So
Yeah.
him getting in the big leagues. So crazy story. First time we rolled him out of the bullpen was opening series in New York. His first batter he faces is Alex Rodriguez, punches his ticket. Later that year, or a year later, gets his 100th career strikeout against Alex Rodriguez.
He was a guy, I remember he had a real high elbow.
Yeah.
And so I kind of saw, I was like, nah, that's not going to be good. It was kind of like me, where it's if he pitches a lot, it could limit him.
I feel like he just had a rubber arm, though.
Because youth, he was so young.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, easily have an active 100 WAR player if it weren't for Trout's injuries. Maybe. I mean, that's not super far-fetched.
I want to see. I'm going to look it up right now. Babe Ruth, all-time WAR leader,
Really?
182.6.
Holy smokes.
How about
Who's
this?
second?
How about this guy? Well, Walter Johnson, Cy Young, and guess who's 4? Barry Bonds, 162. Willie Mays, 156. Roger Clemens, 139.
Is that kid good, Osuna?
That's his brother.
No, that's Roberto Osuna's
Yes.
brother? Is he good?
You know what's crazy? So I was in spring training with the Rangers last year. And his name's Alejandro Ozuna. He's in big league camp. I see the name Ozuna, don't really think anything about it. We're doing outfield drills one day, and he kind of introduces himself to me, and he's like, "Do you remember me?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "I'm Roberto's brother." he was coming around like in spring training. He was like 8 years old. That was like a weird, like feel old moment.
Yeah.
And then later that year, like once I got released, he got his opportunity to come up, and he's kind of been up and down this year. He's up because Wyatt's hurt, but he's a good hitter, man.
Oh, that's cool. Did Ozuna have no panic on his cleats?
That was kind of. He came out to this walkout song that said "No Panic." Yeah, it was like
That's fits.
So, Pilar,
Yeah,
what was that?
this?
What was this for?
Yeah.
We are your A to Z model of careers.
Okay.
But there's certain things that there is a code of conduct that I'm not going to cross. But it had to do with a bonding experience with the boys in 2015, an epic night out, and it just kind of became our, how all these teams have kind of their thing when you get on base. That kind of became like one of our things.
I wanted to ask Kinsler this. Remember that back in the day with the Rangers?
Yeah.
I heard rumor.
Moose.
Yeah, but who's the moose, right? Like,
Well, I know. But I'm thinking like the moose in like Kansas
Yeah.
City. That was always cool when they'd have these moose antlers in Kansas City.
yeah.
Moose.
The moose. We got to get
We
Moose
could end
on
this
here.
game on one swing right here. This guy could definitely do
Dude,
it.
I will never forget. He was hurt. This 2015, we're at Wrigley. It's my first time ever at Wrigley. And this is back when the cages were in the outfield and the bullpens were on the field. And me and Zach McAllister are shagging in left center. And this dude comes walking by with the trainer. He was hurt. Like, he was, like, rehabbing or whatever. He's walking by with the trainer and a hitting coach. Apparently, they were just, like, hitting off the tee or something like that. And he's in, like, a cutoff shirt and shorts.
Oh, God. That was like 119.
Bro, he was a monster. And we didn't know who he was. I was like, bro, who the hell is that? And so that was the first time I'd ever seen him. And
He's like a baseball player off Space Jam.
dude, he is so big. Is he Cuban? All those
I think
freaking
he's
Cuban.
Dominican.
Dude, like Yandy Diaz. You ever
Look
seen
it
that
up
guy
real
up
quick.
close?
Oh, my God.
I played with him in
He's an
Cleveland,
absolute
dude. He
unit.
is so big.
He never misses curl day. I'm so
Nope.
jealous.
Oh, that's the one you want right there, buddy. Ooh. 96 ran right into the armpit.
Oh, he's Cuban. You're right.
Yeah. There's something in the water over there.
You know what the running... How many Cubans have you played with?
Leonis Martin, Yandy Diaz, few, like 3.
Their running joke was always rice and beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, rice and beans, my ass. Like, I know Cuba's a tough place to grow up, and you're probably only eating rice and beans, but I'm like, look it. I was eating good food I was eating good food growing up. I didn't.
You get on
I
that
didn't
Cuban
end up-
national team,
yeah.
though, man. They might give you some stuff.
Did I chase exit velocity? No, I chased hits. I didn't really care what it looked like. For me, exit velocity was like a way of kind of justifying the outs,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I try to tell this to a lot of young kids, especially my own nephew, right? I had to have a phone call with him the other day, and you were probably there for it when he went 0 for 4 and
Yeah.
lined out 4 times. I said, look it, baseball is a game of failure. You're going to fail a lot. But when you fail, there's only so many things you can control when you're hitting. It's like,
Yeah.
do I walk over to the plate with confidence? Did I swing at a good pitch? Did I hit the ball hard? Like, those are all things within your control. I can't play God. I don't know where the ball is going to go and it leads my bat. So for me, exit velocity was like when I made outs, which I was going to make more outs than I got hits. That's just the reality of the game. When I made those outs, I want to hit the ball hard. Like, if I lined out to the left fielder, I'd come back and look at the exit velocity. If it was like 102, I'm like, okay, I won that at bat. Like, I hit the ball hard. I wasn't necessarily chasing Exit
Dude,
velocity.
like if you focus on those like statistics and those like, you know, analytical numbers or those measurables, dude, it will crush you. And it happened to me at the end of my career. Like, you know, I was chasing velocity.
Well, when you're
you
at the
know.
end of your career and like,
Well,
you
I
feel
didn't
like
know
you're
I was
being
in.
judged
I didn't
in your
know I was
career.
at the end of my
Yeah.
career, right? Like, you don't know you're at the, you know, especially like maybe like somebody like myself where it kind of like happened quickly. Like, I didn't know I was in the end of my career. I thought I was in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But I was so focused on velo, and I was so focused on like getting my analytics back, because that was how I was valued, right? I went into free agency pitching pretty well, but the only thing is like the second half of 2018, my velo took a dip. You know, I had to get a shot in my shoulder, had to get some injections, and you know, some of my analytics, and like I got crushed for it. I was like, all right, I'll sign a 1-year deal in Anaheim. You know, I turned down a 2-year deal to the White Sox, but I signed a 1-year deal trying to bet on myself. But I went in just focusing on velo instead of like, bro, the name of the game is to get the guy out.
Well,
The name of the game is to get the guy out.
I think I think if we answer his question,
Yeah.
whether it's exit velocity or, well, we got a close game here, guys. We can't see what's going on. If you ask any baseball player, not a kid that's coming up or a high schooler and someone that's trying to be evaluated, but if you ask any baseball player, the name of the game is me getting friggin' hits. The name of the game is you getting outs. And you don't necessarily care what the measurables, the analytics, the metrics are. Like, I either get a hit or I don't get a hit.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was unbelievable snag right there. That was a frisbee away. No, it's like, you know, would you rather hit a line drive right to the shortstop or hit a ground ball on the 4-hole for a base hit?
I'd rather take the hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could give two craps if I hit it 105 at somebody.
I think we are so. That's a double play.
Oh. No.
Game over.
No way. That's why the fundamentals matter, kids. Oh man.
I think that's a great way to end it,
There you go.
because you want to chase measurables, but really it's about fundamentals. It's about getting outs.
Man.
And he had a great pitch, 3-2. That was a great game.
That was a good game.
I thank you guys all for joining us on this. I don't know if I would have been watching this game tonight with the kids at home, but we watched a really good baseball game.
Yeah, we did.
Hopefully this is not like kind of the downfall for the Rangers, but hopefully this is kind of an ascend for the Angels. I think they just swept them in a 3-game series.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
We're all
to
Mike
see.
Trout fans, so
It'd
we
be
want to see Mikey.
it'd be really cool to see them be relevant, you know, and somehow find a way to get in the postseason, because I think everyone wants to see that guy.
You know what sucks right there?
in
He
October.
bobbled this ball. Taylor made double play right here.
It might
He
have been
probably
safe at second.
but that's not a terrible throw either.
No. Man.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate the questions. Made this kind of fun and easy for us.
And we're gonna do this again. So please keep the questions coming. Please tell your friends, because the engagement it's really important, and the questions kind of keep the conversation moving.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll be back on, because we both have busy schedules here, but really the idea of this is we kind of want to build this towards getting into the postseason, because I think postseason baseball, sitting here doing a couple postseason games, will be a really cool event. We hope to bring in some other guys with us. We hope to kind of phone in a couple of our retired baseball buddies that want to jump in with us. So appreciate you guys.